Chapter 2432. 2432-2432 Under the Treasures of the Crocodile God King. Wang Xian killed the Crocodile God King and found a lot of treasures from his interspatial ring. As the leader of a God King force, his savings were all in his immortal godly nation. Before Wang Xian killed him back then, he used the soul capture command to summon his immortal godly nation. This villa on East Lake Planet was bought here not long ago. Other than this villa, he also bought a huge shop on East Lake Planet. A war pet shop. He had planned to open it for a period of time. Now, it was a great bargain for Wang Xian. Other than these practical items, there were more than 500 immortal god-level war pets in his immortal god nation. All of them were at least level 5. Among them, 300 had been tamed. This was prepared for the opening of the Star Beast Tower. Now, all of them belonged to Wang Xian. Next, Wang Xian only needed to find some waiters to prepare for the opening of the Star Beast Tower. Apart from these, there was also an invitation letter. On the invitation letter was written the Molin Divine Mansion. According to the memory of the Crocodile God King, this invitation letter was worth a lot. Wow, this manor is not bad. I didn't expect the Crocodile God King to do such a good thing after his death. Invincible in battle techniques entered the manor and scanned the surroundings with excitement. The entire manor was extremely luxurious. In the middle of the manor, there was an eternal main god tree that was dozens of meters tall. The main god tree's branches and leaves were emitting a bright luster, blocking off all the dust. The entire manor was close to the lake, and the scenery was very beautiful. This place is not bad. We can rest here directly. Later, we will go to the location of the shop to take a look. Wang Xian was satisfied. This Crocodile God King has saved you a lot of time, Boss Wang. Invincible battle technique said with a smile. I will go to the location of the shop to take a look. Do you guys want to take a look by yourself, or? Wang Xian looked at Invincible battle technique and the rest. They came here to settle some matters. It was impossible for them to follow him all the time. Boss Wang, give me a room here. Invincible battle technique said shamelessly. Sure, pick one of the courtyards over there. I'll go out first. Wang Xian said to them. Following that, he moved and flew toward the shop according to the address on the AI. The place chosen by the Crocodile God King is really luxurious. It's the center of the entire East Lake Planet. Wang Xian looked at a cylindrical commercial square that covered an area of more than 100 kilometers. A smile appeared on his face. The entire cylindrical building was not very tall. It was about 2,000 meters tall and was divided into a total of 10 floors. Each floor was 200 meters tall. There were only about 100 shops inside. One could imagine how expensive this place was. In order to purchase this place, the Crocodile God King had spent a lot of money. Most of his savings were spent on this shop. The entire commercial square had yet to open for business. Wang Xian entered the shop and took out his pass. He was very satisfied after entering the shop. There were at least a dozen war pets that were several thousand meters in size in this shop. Buzz, buzz, buzz. At this moment, an invitation letter that he had placed on his body suddenly trembled. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows and opened it immediately. A line of words appeared on the invitation letter. The Ink Forest Divine Mansion had invited the Croc God King to come and discuss important matters. Ink Forest Divine Mansion. Wang Xian's eyes sparkled as he looked at this line of words. There was no such force on East Lake Planet. However, according to the memory of the Croc God King, this Ink Forest Divine Mansion had invited many beast tamers. Initially, the Croc God King did not trust the other party. However, after the other party helped him to get this shop, he could feel the other party's strength. According to the other party, they wanted to find a group of beast tamers to help tame a space beast cub. The space beast was a real space beast. Even if it was a cub, it was at the level of an undying God King. As for how strong it was, the Crocodile God King didn't know. Let's go and take a look. The other party promised to pay a huge reward if we succeed. Wang Xian hesitated for a moment and prepared to take a look. This reward was comparable to an ordinary Immortal King level 2 or 3 mission. Wang Xian moved and flew towards the location of the Mo Lin Divine Mansion according to the address on the invitation. The Mo Lin Divine Mansion was located in a relatively remote place. It took him a whole hour to arrive. After all, he was a godly king. There was a black bamboo forest within a radius of a few hundred kilometers. In the middle of the forest, there was a small river flowing through the center. Beside the river, there was a manor. The manor was not big, but it was not small either. It was covered by a powerful array formation. Inkwood Divine Mansion, this was the destination. Visitors, take out your invitation. Wang Xian landed in front of the manor and an old man suddenly appeared out of thin air. Huh! Wang Xian looked at the old man with a hint of surprise in his eyes. An Immortal King level 4 powerhouse was one of the top existences on the East Lake planet. A third-rate force that controlled the East Lake planet, an Immortal King level 4 powerhouse was considered a peak powerhouse. However, an old man who was guarding the door here had such strength. Buzz. Wang Xian waved his arm and passed the invitation over. Buzz. Buzz. At this moment, a group of people flew over from behind. They were all wearing the same uniform with the words, Heavenly Beast written on it. Wang Xian took a glance and his eyes sparkled. The Heavenly Beast Corporation. This is not your invitation letter. Where's the Crocodile God King? Suddenly, at this moment, the eyes of the old man in plain clothes stared at the invitation letter in his hand. An aura was locked onto Wang Xian. Yes, I just killed the Crocodile God King. I got this invitation letter, so I came to take a look. Wang Xian didn't hide anything and said with a smile. Grandmaster Beast Tamers are only welcome here. Leave immediately. The old man in cloth was expressionless as he said to Wang Xian directly. Roar. Just as he finished his sentence, Wang Xian waved his arm and two immortal godly king war pets appeared beside him. Beast Tamer Guru, a true Beast Tamer Guru. He said indifferently. Huh. The elder in cloth clothes was slightly stunned and frowned slowly. At the same time, in the small manor behind them, a middle-aged woman was standing beside a veiled woman. They were standing on the small building and were clearly watching everything outside. Miss, something happened. That Crocodile God King was killed. A young man who is a little too young came over with an invitation. A voice rang in their ears. Could it be that something has happened? We know the background of these beast tamers. There shouldn't be any problems. Now, a stranger has suddenly appeared. The lady beside the veiled lady frowned and said softly, "Let him verify his identity." The veiled lady also frowned and sent a voice transmission. His gaze landed on Wang Xian and the two immortal God King war pets beside him. He was also surprised. Your identity does not match. Our operation this time is very important. If you can't prove your identity, you are not allowed to enter. The elder in cloth clothes said coldly. Chapter 2433. 2433 2433 captured the space beast. Prove your identity and background. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows when he heard the old man's words. After hesitating for a moment, he suddenly turned around. His gaze landed on the 5 or 6 people from the Heaven Beast Corporation. A smile appeared on his face. They know me and my identity. Wang Xian pointed at the people from the Heaven Beast Corporation and said to the old man in cloth clothes. Huh. The old man in cloth clothes looked at the group of people from the Heaven Beast Corporation. The 5 or 6 people from the Heaven Beast Corporation were obviously stunned. They frowned and sized up Wang Xian. Brother, we don't know you. The old man in the lead said coldly. But as soon as the old man finished his sentence, Wang Xian sensed a sealing force appearing around him. The old man in cloth clothes stared at him and narrowed his eyes slightly. How can I not know you? 2 months ago, your Heaven Beast Corporation came to my Dragon Palace to cause trouble. There should have been 2 of you there. It's a pity that I didn't treat you well and you left. Wang Xian pointed at 2 of them with a smile and said, Dragon Palace. When the 6 of them heard Wang Xian's words, their expressions changed drastically. Killing intent surged from their bodies instantly. At the same time, they were also extremely astonished. The Dragon Palace knew that the previous incident was done by their Heaven Beast Corporation. This enmity had already been formed. Dragon King of the Dragon Palace in the Tianzi continent. Wang Xian ignored the Heaven Beast Corporation. He really didn't care about the current Heaven Beast Corporation. He looked at the elder in cloth clothes, cupped his hands and said, Sure, let's go in. The old man in cloth clothes nodded when he saw the furious looks of the people from the Heaven Beast organization. All right. Wang Xian smiled and walked straight in. Wang Xian entered the courtyard and sensed something. He looked at the small bamboo house in front of him. He swept his gaze over and saw a woman standing there quietly. He raised his eyebrows and a mysterious glint flashed across his eyes. He swept his gaze over to the position beside the woman. Anting, he can't have discovered me, right? On the small bamboo house, the veiled lady and Wang Xian looked at each other. She frowned slightly and said to the lady, I don't think so. The sky-concealing veil can hide a person in a crack in the void. Unless one is an immortal king level 8 or above, one cannot see the existence of the lady. However, this young man is interesting. He seems to have sensed something amiss. Lady, I'll get someone to investigate him immediately. The woman transmitted her voice. All right. The veiled woman nodded her head. Interesting. The corner of Wang Xian's mouth curled up slightly. He could not even place himself in the void crack at the moment. A lady who was merely at the level of a godlord could do it. Needless to say, she was from a wealthy family. He smiled and sensed the murderous aura coming from behind. He ignored it and continued walking forward. When he arrived at a room, there were already 7 to 8 old men sitting inside. Beside the old men were disciples and other subordinates. Wang Xian scanned his surroundings. All 8 old men were at the Immortal King realm. The strongest one was a level 3 Immortal King realm powerhouse. He walked over and found an empty seat and sat down immediately. Everyone in the room looked at Wang Xian curiously. Everyone from the Heaven Beast Corporation is here. At this moment, everyone from the Heaven Beast Corporation arrived. A few Immortal King realm powerhouses in the room greeted him with smiles on their faces. Yes. The old man in the lead nodded at them. He glanced at Wang Xian coldly and sat at the side. Everyone should be here, right? Where's Master? Sitting at the first seat on the right, the level 3 Immortal King realm old man swept his gaze around and said indifferently, Everyone, please calm down. At this moment, the old man in cloth clothes appeared in the room and said indifferently. Upon hearing the old man's words, the level 3 Immortal King realm old man nodded. He still had to respect a level 4 Immortal King realm expert. Even if his status was not weaker than a level 4 Immortal King stage powerhouse. It's my honor to have all of you Beast Tamer Grandmasters here. At this moment, a graceful lady walked out from behind and swept her gaze across the crowd with a smile. Wang Xian looked over and saw a lady and a veiled lady walking out. The veiled lady was still hidden in the void crack. No one in the surroundings had noticed him. We have invited all the Beast Tamer Grandmasters here. We will also tell you some information. Is this young master clear about it? As the lady spoke, she looked at Wang Xian and asked, Space Beast? Wang Xian replied, That's right, Space Beast. We have found a Space Beast in the nearby starfield. We would like to invite all of you to help tame it. The mission is successful. We will distribute it according to your roles. At least one level 1 Immortal King Cub. There are many of you from the Heaven Beast organization, but there is only one Beast Tamer Grandmaster. We can give you 2 level 1 Undying God King Cubs as a base. The woman spoke to everyone. Everyone nodded without any objections. If you don't have any objections, we will leave now. Before this matter is over, no one is allowed to use any communication devices. The woman stood up slowly and said in the end, "All right." Everyone nodded their heads without any objections. "Let's go." The woman looked at the old man in the cloth clothes and said. The old man in the cloth clothes nodded his head and waved his hand gently. He opened a black hole and stepped into it. The rest of the people followed behind and walked in. The woman and the veiled woman were the last to enter. But when Wang Xian passed through the formation, they were already in the void. There was a powerful airship in front of them. The old man in plain clothes stood at the entrance of the airship and gestured to everyone. Everyone immediately walked in. Wang Xian entered and looked around the airship before walking towards a seat. However, before he arrived, an old man was sitting there and staring at Wang Xian coldly. "Heaven Beast Corporation, I haven't settled the score with you yet." Wang Xian looked at the old man and said nonchalantly, "Settled the score with us? We haven't settled the score with you yet for killing the people of our Heaven Beast Corporation." At the back, 5 pairs of eyes locked onto Wang Xian with a hint of killing intent. Since the Dragon Palace knew that they were enemies, the Heaven Beast Corporation had nothing to hide or hold back. "Everyone, we don't want to make any mistakes in this operation. If there are any problems due to some people, don't blame us for being impolite." At this moment, the woman's voice sounded from the back. At the same time, a wave of pressure instantly filled the entire airship. Feeling this terrifying pressure, everyone's expressions changed slightly as they stared at the woman behind them in shock. Her strength caused everyone to feel suffocated. She was much stronger than the old man in cloth clothes. "We will definitely do our best." The 6 people from the Heaven Beast Corporation looked at each other and immediately said to the woman, "Let's set off." The woman nodded and said directly. Chapter 2434. 2434 captured the Space Beast. The speed of the airship was very fast. It was comparable to the full-speed flight of an immortal king level 1. The entire airship didn't say anything. The atmosphere was a little heavy. Wang Xian and the Heaven Beast Corporation were obviously enemies. The rest of the Beast Tamer Grandmasters obviously didn't have a deep relationship either. They waited in silence. Time passed slowly. The airship had flown for more than 10 hours. And will it succeed this time? In the cockpit at the front of the airship, the veiled woman frowned as she looked ahead and asked softly, "It will succeed, it will definitely succeed. It's a pity that I can't make a move. That sky behemoth knows my aura. Once I appear, it will immediately flee." Aunt Ing nodded her head heavily, feeling slightly helpless. "If only those 2 women were willing to help us back then." Aunt Ing continued speaking, shaking her head slightly. "Those 2 women are the most talented ones I've ever seen. Even the most outstanding disciples of the great sects and great religions cannot compare to them. They are much more outstanding than me." The veiled woman's gaze flickered slightly. The strongest one is still their sky behemoth battle pet. Its potential is too terrifying. It might not be long before I'm no match for that sky behemoth. Aunt Ing sighed slightly. "We've helped them a little. It's not bad that they can tell us about a space beast. If I can subdue it, perhaps I can bring my mother along." The veiled lady didn't finish her sentence as she looked ahead in a daze. "We're almost there." At this moment, a voice sounded from inside the airship. "What is this place?" Wang Xian looked outside, his eyes gleaming. "The Blackstone Domain." He mumbled softly. Humans were not the rulers of this resplendent starry sky. The main reason was that there were many dangerous lands. Many of these areas were inaccessible to the weak. There were desolate beasts and demonic beasts there. Sometimes, the desolate beasts in these dangerous lands would attack the surrounding planets. The Black Stone Domain was one of the fierce areas in the northern corner of the Imperial Star Field. There were more than 100 desolate beast planets in this domain. There was also a desolate beast called the Black Stone Monster that lived in the starry sky. This black stone monster looked like a rock. It had no intelligence and liked to devour metal. They would attack anything that carried metal. 1. At this moment, the airship stopped and a woman walked in from the front. Let me tell you the target. The woman swept her gaze over everyone, waving her arm. A scene appeared in front of everyone. It was a terrifying space beast. The beast had a snake head. Its entire body was like a huge rock. It stood in space, looking extremely terrifying. The towering snake space beast, 10,000 m long, undying Emperor Level 2, it's currently hiding in the Black Rock domain. The space beast's characteristics: it can create its own god country, it can enter the space rift. As for searching for it, you will have to rely on your own abilities. Inform everyone when you find the space beast, do your best to subdue it. The next step is to tame it. You should all know the difficulty of taming the space beast. The woman said to everyone. There are many undying God King desolate beasts living in the Black Rock domain. It's not safe here. A beast tamer grandmaster frowned as he said. Everyone, we are offering such a generous reward, we naturally have to pay a price. There's no such thing as a free lunch. The woman said indifferently to the beast tamer grandmaster. Of course, we will not make things difficult for everyone. In a month's time, if you don't find the towering snake space beast within a month, you can give up. Our reward will not be small either. The woman added. After searching for the space beast in the Blackstone domain for a month, regardless of success or failure, one would obtain an immortal king pup battle pet. This reward was absolutely terrifying. Even though all of them were beast tamers, they couldn't resist the temptation. Sure. Everyone nodded. Also, I would like to remind all of you not to bring your personal grudges here. Once they appear, you won't be able to bear it. As the woman spoke, she looked at Wang Xian and the group from the Heaven Beast Corporation. Don't worry, we know what to do. The old man who was the leader of the Heaven Beast Corporation nodded his head lightly. Wang Xian smiled and didn't say anything. Everyone, let's go. As the woman spoke, she waved her arm and opened the airship. Without any hesitation, the beast tamers flew straight into the Blackstone domain. Wang Xian followed closely behind and flew outside. He scanned his surroundings and flew deeper into the Blackstone domain. Uncle Boo, let's go as well. After all the beast tamers on the airship left, the veiled lady who had been standing beside the woman said to the elder in cloth clothes. Miss, you can wait here. I will go and look for it myself. The elder in cloth clothes said respectfully to the veiled lady. I can't sit still here. I have the heaven-concealing veil. I won't be in any danger. The veiled woman shook her head and said to the old man in cloth clothes. All right then. The old man in cloth clothes looked at the woman beside him and nodded slowly. But the veiled woman followed the old man in cloth clothes and flew into the Blackstone domain as well. Do I have to stay here for a month? Wang Xian kept flying forward. His eyes scanned the surroundings as he thought to himself. The reason why he came here this time was firstly because the reward this time was indeed a lot. Secondly, it was because of the space beast. I can stay here for a month. If this place is suitable, I can get Ao Crab and the rest to come over. Wang Xian made up his mind. Since he was here, he would take a look. His understanding of this starry sky only came from the AI. Some things were better seen with his own eyes. Let's see if I can find that towering snake space behemoth and understand the desolate beasts in the Black Rock domain. He muttered and increased his speed. Soon, huge black rocks appeared in the void in front of him. Some of these rocks were real rocks, while others were black rock monsters and desolate beasts. If one had metal on their body, they might be attacked by black rock monsters. This was because of the characteristics of these black rock monsters. Even an immortal king would not be able to tell if this was a rock or a black rock monster. Furthermore, black rock monsters could only sell metal materials when they were killed. The value was not high, so very few people would provoke these desolate beasts. These black rock monsters are tonic for Ao Crab and the rest. Wang Xian's gaze swept across the area. He could not differentiate between the rock and the black rock monsters. He flew straight ahead. There were more than 100 desolate beast planets inside. Each planet was not smaller than the Tianzi continent. If he were to search for ordinary desolate beasts, it would be like searching for a needle in a haystack. However, it was relatively easier to search for the space behemoths. The space behemoths were very big and had a strong suppression on desolate beasts. If one was lucky enough to encounter the space behemoth's prey, they would be able to find them quickly. Chapter 2435. 2435 2435 captured the space beast. Voila! On the outermost planet of the Blackstone domain, Wang Xian entered carefully. There are quite a number of immortal king desolate beasts on this planet. There are at least 20 to 30 of them. He sensed the aura of the entire planet and revealed a serious expression. According to the information on the AI, there were hundreds of immortal king desolate beasts in the Blackstone domain. Among them, the strongest one might be level 3 or level 4 immortal king desolate beasts. This was a dangerous area. Furthermore, the immortal king level C monsters in the Blackstone domain were more cunning. The immortal king level C monsters were well hidden. Very few people stepped into this domain. I can capture some immortal king level desolate beasts here and tame them. Wang Xian mumbled to himself. Immortal king level battle pets were extremely valuable. There was a type of black plant growing on the entire desolate beast planet. Some of the plants clearly possessed terrifying offensive power. The creatures living on the desolate beast planet were obviously more terrifying than the places where humans lived. In this place, the strong preyed on the weak. The weak would not be able to survive on this dangerous desolate beast planet. How could it be so simple to imagine the creatures that could survive on the immortal king desolate beast planet? Wang Xian scanned his surroundings with his yin-yang 5 elements dragon eyes. He could see the hunters around him. There were poisonous snakes coiled around the trees. There were poisonous plants disguised as ordinary trees. There were some earth-type desolate beasts making traps underground. The entire desolate beast planet was filled with killing intent. Wang Xian's entire body was surrounded by the yin-yang 5 elements alms bowl. He concealed his aura and shuttled around the planet. The creatures that were courting death and wanted to sneak attack him were instantly killed. Wang Xian was not very interested in desolate beasts below immortal god king level. Of course, if he encountered a peak god lord level desolate beast, he would still make a move to tame it. His speed of taming desolate beasts was relatively fast. A peak god lord level 1 could be done in more than 10 minutes. It was impossible for other beast tamer grandmasters to completely tame a peak god lord level C monster without more than half a month. After traveling on this planet for more than an hour, Wang Xian's figure suddenly stopped. His gaze was fixed on a desolate beast that was lying on top of a volcano in front of him. It was a reminder for a desolate beast that was 2,000 meters in size. It was as though it was bathing in the lava. Immortal King Level 1 Desolate Beast. My luck is not bad. Wang Xian sensed the strength of the desolate beast. With a move of his palm, the 5 elements millstone appeared in his hand. With a wave of his arm, the black hole disturbing formation was immediately activated. A substantial law enveloped the surrounding space. Roar, roar. The level 1 immortal king desolate beast on top of the volcano immediately let out a low roar when it sensed the changes in its surroundings. With a move of its body, it disappeared into the volcano. Huh! Wang Xian raised his eyebrows when he saw this scene. An immortal king desolate beast is so vigilant. Wang Xian's eyes were filled with astonishment. He undid the formation with a slightly embarrassed expression. He moved his palm slightly and continued to set up the black hole disturbance formation on the 5 elements millstone. There were 5 avatars in the 5 elements millstone who had been comprehending the formation. Although Wang Xian's speed of improvement was fast, the formation did not come down at all. His body moved and Wang Xian continued to search around the planet. 10 hours later, when a level 1 immortal king dire beast saw Wang Xian leaving with the black hole disturbing formation, Wang Xian frowned slightly. Unlike the sea monsters that do not fight all year round in the underground sea, the immortal king dire beast here is very vigilant. Unless he has set up a formation in advance and activated it immediately when he stepped in, it would be hard to catch him otherwise. Wang Xian thought to himself. Forget it, let's look for that towering snake space beast. Wang Xian flew into the clouds above and surveyed the entire planet. However, Wang Xian also encountered a type of desolate beast's attack in the thick clouds. It could be said that there were dangers everywhere. In the surroundings, there were all kinds of roars from desolate beasts from time to time. The sounds of battle were endless. Wang Xian even heard the roars of the immortal king desolate beast twice. After searching the entire planet, Wang Xian did not find any signs of the towering snake space beast. He moved his body and flew deeper into the planet. Damn it! Damn it! This level 3 immortal king desolate beast has locked onto me. At this moment, an angry roar came from the front. An extremely terrifying desolate beast was chasing an old man. The old man's face was filled with unwillingness. But his body moved and disappeared instantly. He left. I wonder if that fellow will return. He should be here as soon as possible. There will be no reward if he doesn't come. Wang Xian looked over and thought to himself. Seeing a god king being forced to flee back to his immortal god country, Wang Xian became even more careful. Since he couldn't get the immortal king desolate beast, it would be best if he could get the reward. Wang Xian moved his body and continued to search the surroundings. For the next 6 days, Wang Xian searched more than a dozen planets, but he didn't find any sign of the space beast. Buzz, buzz, buzz. I found the space beast. I found the space beast. On the 7th day, a voice rang out from Wang Xian's communicator. Such good luck. Wang Xian was slightly stunned. A look of astonishment appeared on his face. When he saw the other party's location, he immediately flew in that direction. Miss, someone has discovered it. At this moment, on a planet, the old man in cloth clothes was delighted when he received this message. He immediately said excitedly, "Uncle Boo, bring me there. Hurry up." The veiled lady said excitedly, "All right." The two of them flew forward rapidly. At the same time, all the beast tamer grandmasters were flying in that direction. Be careful, don't let them discover us. When Wang Xian rushed over, an old man warned them with a vigilant look. Wang Xian nodded his head. Soon, beast tamers flew over one by one. The 6 immortal godly kings from the Heaven Beast Corporation also rushed over. Are you sure? The old man in cloth clothes appeared and immediately asked the discoverer. The veiled lady stood by the side, but the others still couldn't see her. When Wang Xian saw this scene, he felt a little strange. He couldn't help but look at the veiled lady. To be able to hide in the void crack and look at the outside world, this treasure was definitely not simple. Senior, we have confirmed it. Everyone, get ready. I will bring you there. The beast tamer grandmaster who had discovered it nodded and carefully flew forward. The rest of the group immediately followed behind. Over there, I just saw him disappear into the lake. Furthermore, if we are careful, we should be able to detect him hiding within the spatial rift. In front, the beast tamer pointed to a valley below. In the middle of the valley, there was a huge lake. This is the towering snake space beast. Wang Xian looked down and his eyes were filled with astonishment. Chapter 2436. 2436 2436 attacked. An undying emperor-level warrior could hide within the space fissure. A powerful undying emperor could travel within. The space beast's specialty was that even though he was only at undying emperor level 3, he could still travel within the space fissure. However, warriors of the same level could sense if there was a space fissure in the space around. If there was, attacking the space crack would cause the space crack to collapse. In Wang Xian's vision, the space beast stood in the middle of the lake. It had a triangular snake head that was about 100 meters long and 10 meters in diameter. Its eyes were closed and there was a long wound on its body. Clearly, it was heavily injured and was recuperating. It is indeed in there. Good. Grandmaster, regardless of whether it succeeds or not, we will give you a level 1 immortal king cub. If it succeeds, we will give you 2. The elder stared at the lake and said excitedly. When the beast tamer grandmaster heard the elder's promise, his face was filled with joy. Get ready. This towering snake space beast can escape through the void rift. This time, we cannot let him escape. The elder said to everyone around him. Don't worry, we are all beast tamer grandmasters. Our ability to capture desolate beasts is not something an ordinary godly monarch can compare to. An elder from the Heaven Beast Corporation said confidently. That's good. Make your move. Once we capture them, the reward will not be small. As the elder spoke, he flew straight into the sky. The rest of the beast-taming grandmasters immediately scattered around. Wang Xian took up a position and stared at the towering snake space beast below. A level 3 immortal godly king space beast was not something he could contend against. He only needed to disrupt it a little. The main thing was to rely on the old man in cloth clothes. But the moment they flew over, the towering snake space beast in the lake suddenly opened its eyes. Wang Xian, who had been watching the space beast, had a bad feeling. The others did not have his dragon eyes and could not see the actions of the towering snake space beast. Roar! When everyone was surrounding it, the giant space serpent opened its mouth and attacked the group of people on the left. Ha! The direction where Wang Xian's giant space serpent was attacking didn't say anything. In the next moment, a terrifying gust of wind swept towards the group of people from the Heaven Beast Corporation. Oh no! Be careful! The sudden attack caused the expressions of the group of people from the Heaven Beast Corporation to change drastically. The expressions of everyone around also changed drastically as they reminded loudly. In the sky, the old man in cloth clothes waved his arm and a whip appeared in his hand. Lightning coiled around the whip and swept downwards. Boom, boom, boom. The terrifying attack tore apart the space below and the towering snake space behemoth appeared directly. Bolts of lightning landed on his body, causing fresh blood to splatter everywhere. Wang Xian waved his arm and grabbed a drop of blood. Hiss, hiss, hiss. The vertical snake swallowed and spat out its head. In an instant, its body sank to the bottom of the lake. It wanted to escape. Moreover, its escape was not to drill a hole in the ground. Instead, it was to break through space and travel through the cracks. In such a situation, it was completely unaffected by the ground. Attack! The elder in cloth clothes immediately roared loudly. The whip in his hand was wrapped by lightning as it swept towards the vertical snake. Boom, boom, boom. The rest of the group also immediately launched their attacks. A terrifying energy covered the area below. Space was directly torn apart. That space beast wants to enter the depths of the planet. All of you are scattered around the planet. Once it appears, immediately attack. The old man in cloth clothes saw that he was drilling towards the depths of the planet and his expression was somewhat unsightly. Only he could keep up with the towering snake's speed. The others would find it difficult to keep up. There are many immortal god king desolate beasts on this planet. Sealing them is impossible. We will keep watch around the planet. The moment we come out, we will immediately surround and attack. The only immortal god king level 3 beast tamer said loudly. All right. The others nodded. They were still lacking in strength. Chu Shi's attack just now had seriously injured 2 people from the Heaven Beast Corporation. But Wang Xian ignored the old man's order. With a move of his body, he dived into the lake below and followed closely behind the old man and Chu Shi. He had the 5 elements attributes and could easily travel through the soil and metal. The planet below could not hinder him at all. On the other hand, Chu Snake was severely injured and his strength was greatly reduced. Wang Xian was not afraid of him at all. That Dragon King is following him. Is he an Earth Elemental Godly King? Some of the Beast Tamer Grandmasters noticed Wang Xian following him and raised their eyebrows slightly. They did not pay too much attention to him. Boom, boom, boom. The old man waved the whip in his hand and attacked the space in the entire planet. Sometimes, he forced Choo-Choo Snake to reveal his body. Wang Xian followed behind and was not shaken off at all. According to this situation, this space beast is going to be captured. Wang Xian looked at the large amount of blood around him and thought to himself, Hiss. However, just as he finished his sentence, a green black hole appeared in front of him. The towering snake immediately dived into the green black hole and disappeared instantly. Oh no, it's this situation again. The old man's expression changed drastically when he saw this scene. The last time they captured it, they encountered such a situation. This towering snake escaped from their pursuit directly. It was the same this time. Everyone knew that it was extremely difficult to kill the space beast, but they didn't expect it to be so difficult. What kind of escapability is this? It's even stronger than teleportation. Wang Xian looked over and his face was filled with astonishment. He moved his palm and a drop of blood appeared in it. Immediately, he set up a bloodline connection formation. Following that, he set up another formation and displayed the image of a towering snake. Located at a spot tens of billions of kilometers away, the towering snake was hidden in the void crack in the starry sky. At this moment, the injuries on his body were clearly more serious. What a terrifying speed! He managed to escape tens of billions of kilometers in an instant. This is almost the edge of the Blackstone domain. Wang Xian was a little speechless. It escaped again. From the position in front, the furious voice of the old man in cloth clothes could be heard. Wang Xian's eyes flickered. He could find the location of the towering snake. As long as he told them, he would be able to capture it this time. Anyway, I'm selling the space beast for sale. There's no harm in telling them. After all, this is also a moral issue. Wang Xian muttered to himself. When he saw the old man flying out, he immediately flew out as well. Senior, where's the space beast? Outside the planet, more than a dozen immortal godly monarchs were staring ahead. When they saw the old man coming out, they immediately asked. It escaped. The old man said with a dark expression. How can that be? We were clearly guarding outside. We didn't see it escape. Everyone around was shocked, their expressions ugly. Chapter 2437. 2437 2437 attacked. The entire planet was completely sealed, over 10 undyings were scattered around. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that even if a fly flew out, they would notice it. However, a 10,000 m laughing space beast escaped. They didn't notice it. This made them a little embarrassed. They couldn't believe it. I placed some lightning law fragments on its body, and I can confirm that it is not on this planet. I can confirm that it is rapidly disappearing in front of us. The cloth-clothed old man's expression was also incomparably gloomy. Towering snake space beast was incomparably intelligent, but at the same time, it was also incomparably vigilant. The next time it appeared near it, it would immediately flee. Beside, the veiled lady clenched her fists tightly, filled with unwillingness. She had paid a huge price to get this towering snake. In the end, it still escaped. Has it escaped from the Black Rock domain? The Undying God King Level 3 Beast Tamer Master frowned and asked. No, it should be recuperating in this domain, but I'm afraid that when we find it, the towering snake space beast will be able to escape again. The old man shook his head helplessly. The Black Rock domain was huge. To find the space beast again, it might have already recovered quite a bit, and it could still use that escape technique again. If that was the case, it would be too hard to catch it. Unless there were tens or hundreds of Undyings working together. But was it possible? Even if there were hundreds of immortal kings working together, Such a huge commotion would attract the attention of others. Once someone knew that there was a young immortal king space beast here, those big forces would definitely swarm over. I can find the location of that towering snake. At this moment, Wang Xian, who was flying over, heard their conversation and said with a smile, "Huh." Everyone was slightly taken aback. They immediately looked at Wang Xian with astonishment on their faces. "You can find the towering snake? Dragon King, if you can find it, we will definitely reward you handsomely." The elder in cloth clothes paused for a moment and said hurriedly, "I can already lock onto the location. Let's go, we will head over immediately." Wang Xian smiled faintly and pointed in a direction. "How can you be sure?" The people from the Heaven Beast organization looked at Wang Xian and said coldly, "Hee, you'll know once you go. Just because you guys don't know doesn't mean I don't know." Wang Xian glanced at them and said mockingly, Do you think? All right, I'll have to trouble you to lead the way, Dragon King." The people from the Heaven Beast organization wanted to say something but were immediately interrupted by the elder in cloth clothes. Wang Xian moved and flew straight towards the towering snake space beast. The group of people immediately followed closely behind. The veiled lady in the crack in the void stared at Wang Xian with a gleam in her eyes. A hint of hope appeared on her face. "There is still a distance of 5,000 kilometers. Once we get close to the towering snake, we might be able to sense it. I have set up a formation that can seal the towering snake for less than a second. In less than a second, we must surround it." Wang Xian suddenly stopped in midair and said to the beast tamer grandmasters, "Everyone, listen to the Dragon King's arrangements." The old man in cloth clothes said immediately, "But..." Wang Xian took out the 5 elements millstone. With a move of his arm, the black hole interference array formation rapidly covered an area of 20,000 kilometers. With his current strength, the black hole interference array formation could only interfere with the towering snake for less than a second. However, in less than a second, it was enough for them to seal it. "Follow behind me and prepare to surround it." Wang Xian growled and flew over at a terrifying speed. His yin-yang and 5 elements dragon eyes stared ahead. "What kind of formation is this? Why do I feel that I have lost contact with the outside world?" Hiss, as expected, the towering snake is right in front of us. When Wang Xian flew forward, the group of beast tamers looked at the formation around them in shock. Within this formation, they felt as though they were cut off from the world. However, at this moment, they didn't think too much and directly attacked the towering snake space beast. Hiss, hiss, hiss. When the towering snake sensed the group of people attacking it, it spat out its blood-red tongue. Its eyes were filled with coldness. Wang. Its body trembled, and the formation around it immediately cracked like glass. Crackle. At this moment, the old man in cloth clothes stared at the towering snake space beast with a burning face, and the lightning whip in his hand directly coiled around it. Spirit trap. In the surroundings, many beast tamer grandmasters displayed their skills, and all kinds of binding attacks attacked the towering snake space beast. Hiss, hiss, hiss. The towering snake space beast was already heavily injured. Now that it was facing the attacks of the elder and the other beast tamer grandmasters, it was panicking. It shook its huge body and quickly fled into the distance. "If you want to escape, trap." At this moment, a female voice suddenly sounded. A water pillar suddenly appeared in the sky. The water pillar immediately split into 8 and descended from the sky, surrounding the space serpent beast. Hiss, hiss, hiss. The space serpent beast shook its body frantically, but the water current was getting closer and closer, completely binding it. So powerful! The group of beast tamers narrowed their eyes at this sight, and they looked at the woman who had suddenly appeared. "Good, we've finally caught her." The old man in cloth clothes shouted excitedly. The woman who had suddenly appeared also heaved a heavy sigh of relief. Her face was filled with smiles. Wang. With a wave of his arm, The bracelet in his hand flew towards the head of the towering snake space beast. Hiss hiss. The towering snake roared furiously, filled with unwillingness. Thank you all for helping us catch this space beast. Next, we would like to invite all of you Grandmasters to help us tame it. If any of you Grandmasters can tame it, we are willing to pay more. The woman said directly. Let me give it a try. As soon as the woman finished speaking, an old man from the Heavenly Beast Corporation moved and immediately flew towards the towering snake space beast. With a smile on his face, he immediately sent his mental energy towards the towering snake. The first thing a beast tamer had to do was to communicate with the towering snake, lure it, and then slowly tame it. Pooh! However, just as the Heavenly Beast Corporation's Immortal God King Level 2 Beast Tamer Master flew in front of the towering serpent, his body flew over and he spat out blood. The space beast's spiritual energy is too violent, we can't communicate at all. The old man said with a pale face, his expression extremely ugly. There are very, very few space beasts to be tamed as war pets, even in the entire Emperor Star field. Not only is it because space beasts are rare, but it's also hard to tame. The difficulty of taming a space beast was something that all beast tamers understood. Chapter 2438 2438 2438 Taming and Conditions. Let me do it. An Undying Emperor Level 2 Beast Tamer Master had just communicated with his spirit and was immediately heavily injured. The rest of the Beast Tamers looked at each other, they didn't have much confidence. The strongest Undying Emperor Level 3 Beast Tamer Master hesitated for a while, flying towards the towering snake space beast. 1. He extended his palm, dropping healing pills onto its body, trying to gain the towering snake's trust. When the pills landed on its body, the towering snake's resistance was indeed much weaker. He tried to communicate, but after over 10 minutes, the towering snake did not react at all. No, unless I take out more pills to treat its injuries, I cannot gain its trust. The space beast is even more ferocious than normal desolate beasts. Unless we encounter a stronger space beast, it will be hard for it to submit. After half an hour, the Undying God King Level 3 Beast Tamer Master said with an ugly expression. With his ability, taming a desolate beast of the same level would take at least a few years, and it would be even harder for him to help others tame it. If he wanted to tame the space beast now, he did not have the confidence to do so for decades. No, once his injuries are treated, he might just run away. The woman immediately shook her head, her expression changing. Such a level of space beast, unless an Undying God King Level 7 or 8 Beast Tamer Grandmaster is involved, it's impossible to tame it. The Undying God King Level 3 Beast Tamer Guru shook his head and said with a heavy face. An Undying God King Level 7 or 8 Beast Tamer Guru, there's only one in the entire Imperial Star field? In the entire greater world, the only one who can tame this space beast is probably the Magus Beast Pavilion's top beast tamer. The guru continued. That's right, this space beast spirit is too violent, it's too difficult to tame a beast of the same level, even a powerful beast tamer guru might need a lot of time. The old man from the Heaven Beast Organization said as well. The others looked at the space beast hesitantly, shaking their heads and not wanting to try anymore. It was too difficult. That Undying God King Level 3 warrior was already the strongest Beast Tamer Grandmaster in the vicinity. There was still a huge gap between them. If he couldn't do it, the others naturally couldn't. The woman's expression slowly sank when she saw this scene. They had spent a lot of time and money to capture this space beast. Now, they were in a desperate situation again when it came to taming it. I can tame it. Wang Xian swept his gaze across the surroundings and shook his head slightly. He said with a smile on his face. Wang Xian's words made everyone look at him. Young man, your realm is much lower than mine. Can you tame a space beast at level 3 of the Immortal King realm? The beast tamer looked at Wang Xian and shook his head lightly with a look of disbelief. Let's give it a try and find out. Wang Xian revealed a look of confidence. Control the towering snake space beast well. Don't let it resist, he said to the woman and the elder in cloth clothes. With a move, he flew to the front of the towering snake space beast. Wang Xian didn't hesitate at all. His arm turned into a dragon claw and smacked heavily on the top of its head. A drop of fresh blood was placed on his palm. Bang! A tremendous force smacked on its head. A powerful dragon's might charged directly at its body. Surrender and absorb this drop of fresh blood. Wang Xian's voice resounded in its mind. When his palm landed on its head, fresh blood immediately oozed out from the top of its head. Hiss, hiss, hiss. Being attacked by Wang Xian, the towering snake space beast stuck out its tongue. Its eyes were filled with violent killing intent. Bang, bang, bang. Wang Xian did not hesitate at all. His dragon claws kept attacking the towering snake. What are you doing? Attacking a giant beast that you want to tame. How can you make it submit to you? Even if it is just a temporary submission, there is a high possibility that it will kill its master. The expressions of the surrounding beast tamers changed slightly when they saw Wang Xian's violent taming method. An expert from the Heaven Beast Corporation could not help but roar. Hee, how can your Heaven Beast Corporation compare to my beast taming method? Wang Xian revealed a confident expression. His dragon claw directly grabbed into the head of the towering snake and fresh blood flowed out. Submit! At the same time, he roared at the towering snake in a stern voice. With this method of yours, you killed it before it could be tamed. Hmh, how can someone like you be called a beast tamer grandmaster? A person from the Heaven Beast Corporation said with disdain. This method is impossible. The other beast tamers shook their heads. If we continue attacking, we might really kill it. The level 3 Immortal King Beast Tamer Grandmaster said with a frown. Dragon King, stop. The old man in cloth clothes shouted at Wang Xian immediately. Hiss, hiss, hiss. At this moment, the towering snake space beast, which felt the threat to its life, felt the threat of death. It could feel the fearful pressure coming from Wang Xian's body. The towering snake let out a plea. Fresh blood flowed into the top of its head. Sensing Wang Xian's terrifying killing intent, it lowered its head slowly and didn't dare to resist anymore. The dragon's blood was successfully absorbed. It's done, Wang Xian said with a smile when he saw the dragon's blood being absorbed. Huh! Everyone was slightly stunned and looked over in astonishment. At this moment, all the beast tamer grandmasters saw a scene that they couldn't understand and were shocked. The towering snake lowered its head slowly and respectfully expressed its submission to Wang Xian. Release the restraints on its body. Wang Xian instructed the woman and the elder in cloth clothes. Both of them opened their mouths with shock written all over their faces. When they saw the obedient behavior of the towering snake, they realized that it had made all the restraints stand out. But Wang Xian stepped on the head of the towering snake. Waves of thick dragon energy were transmitted into its body to heal the injuries on its body. Hiss. The Chu snake let out a low roar of joy. It slowly straightened its huge body and looked ahead arrogantly. How is this possible? A powerhouse from the Heaven Beast Corporation exclaimed in disbelief. Even the level 3 Immortal King Beast Tamer Master was in disbelief. This was completely against the rules of beast taming. But he did indeed tame a space beast, and it only took a few minutes. This was too terrifying. How did he do it? A Heaven Beast Corporation expert roared softly. Everyone only saw him continuously attacking the towering snake space beast. This action, which they thought was extremely stupid, and even mocked him just now, had actually tamed this space beast. Could it be that he has a special beast taming technique? Everyone couldn't help but guess. Only this special beast taming technique could tame a space beast so quickly. If the space beast was so fast, what about the other Undying God Emperor level desolate beasts? Thinking of this, everyone couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. Their eyes were filled with heat. Chapter 2439. 2439 Taming and Conditions. Dragon King, are you sure you have tamed it completely? The woman stared at Wang Xian with a face full of shock. Her eyes were filled with joy. The veiled woman at the side was also filled with excitement. She stared blankly at the towering snake space beast in front of her. What do you think? Wang Xian patted the head of the towering snake space beast. The towering snake lowered its head slowly and looked at the woman. Dragon King, can you help the others tame this space beast? The woman asked immediately. As a beast tamer, I can naturally do this. Wang Xian nodded his head. All right. Dragon King, can you please come with us? Regarding the remuneration, we will definitely satisfy you. The woman said excitedly. Sure. Wang Xian nodded his head. Old Boo, you handle the remuneration for the others. I will take Dragon King away first. The woman immediately said to the old man in the cloth clothes. All right, leave this to me. The old man in the cloth clothes nodded his head. Dragon King, please follow me. The woman gestured to Wang Xian. Sure. Wang Xian nodded his head and patted the giant space serpent. It immediately followed closely behind. It didn't look like it had just been tamed. Instead, it looked like a partner that had been tamed for tens of thousands of years. He actually tamed it. The group of beast tamers exclaimed in shock when they saw Wang Xian and the rest leaving. Everyone, this is the reward that you deserve. The old man in cloth clothes also looked at the figure of Wang Xian who was standing on the towering snake's head. He turned his head and said to them. He took out the immortal king pups that he had prepared beforehand and gave them to them one by one. Everyone didn't hesitate and immediately accepted. Everyone, please abide by our rules and don't tell anyone about this. The old man in cloth reminded everyone before turning around and disappearing instantly. Not bad, getting an immortal king pup in a dozen days. This kind of opportunity might not come once in a few tens of thousands of years. A beast tamer grandmaster looked at the undying god king cub in front of him, his face full of smiles. The other beast tamers also had smiles on their faces. Don't be happy too early. If that Dragon King enters the battle pet industry on East Lake Planet, everyone's battle pet shop should be prepared to close down. An old man from the Heaven Beast Corporation was not in a good mood at the moment. Even if they did not expend much effort to obtain 2 immortal god king cubs, they did not feel the slightest bit of joy after seeing the terrifying Dragon King. The terrifying ability to find immortal god king desolate beasts, the terrifying beast taming ability. Nothing could be compared to an ordinary beast taming grandmaster. Such a powerful enemy was a huge threat to their Heaven Beast Corporation. We don't have any enmity with the Dragon King. What we need to worry about is your Heavenly Beast Corporation. A beast tamer master looked at them and said indifferently. Just based on the other party's beast taming ability, do you think there won't be any repercussions in the future? The Heavenly Beast Corporation's expert said coldly. Furthermore, you should have seen the array formation just now. It can trap an undying god king. I'm sure that there will be many undying god king battle pets that haven't appeared in hundreds or thousands of years. This has nothing to do with you? You're deceiving yourself. Another expert from the Heaven Beast Corporation added with a sneer. His array formation and beast taming methods are indeed terrifying. Even the Magus Beast Pavilion is only SOSO. However, don't even think about us helping you deal with them. The Undying God King Rank 3 Beast Tamer Master said indifferently. With that said, his body moved and he flew away instantly. The rest of the group fell into deep thought and left as well. Now that the Dragon King had not touched their interests, they could not act now. No one would be willing to provoke someone who could contend with the Heaven Beast Corporation for no reason. However, everyone had already remembered the formation and beast taming abilities that the Dragon King had displayed today. Dragon King, I'll have to trouble you to help someone tame this towering snake space beast. We can help you to raise your level by another level. At the periphery of the Blackstone domain, the woman brought Wang Xian to the side of the airship and spoke. "Are you helping the beauty beside you?" Wang Xian stood on top of the snake's head and glanced at the position beside the woman as he asked with a smile. The woman's pupils contracted slightly and her expression changed slightly. "You can see it." She stared at Wang Xian with a serious expression. "I've been following you and that elder in cloth clothes all this while." Wang Xian smiled and didn't answer her directly. The result was obvious. Even an immortal king level 8 powerhouse might not be able to discover me. "How did you do it?" At this moment, the veiled lady beside the lady appeared and stared at Wang Xian with a twinkle in her eyes. Her figure couldn't be seen through her dress, but one could guess her delicate and fair arms. Her veil covered most of her face and her yin-yang and 5 elemental dragon eyes couldn't see through it. "I can even tame a space beast that even an immortal king level 8 beast tamer grandmaster might not be able to tame." Wang Xian looked at her and smiled faintly. His eyes were sparkling. "Your aura is very young, but I can't believe that you can actually advance to the immortal king level without 10,000 years. The veiled lady looked at Wang Xian with interest and said, "Not to mention the treasures you have on you, you are already at level 7 of the Eternal God Lord at such a young age. You are the daughter of heaven and are from a wealthy family." Wang Xian looked at her and commented, "Help me tame this towering snake space beast. I will pay you a satisfactory reward." The veiled lady said to Wang Xian firmly, "You do need to pay me a lot of money. I was also the one who helped you tame the towering snake that I found for you." Wang Xian nodded his head as expected. He touched the head of the towering snake and said, "It hasn't reached the mature stage yet. A mature towering snake has the strength of a peak immortal king. Even a celestial emperor might not be able to kill it." "What do you want? I can't take out too many treasures." The veiled lady's expression changed slightly as she spoke with a frown. This time, it was all thanks to this man in front of her that she was able to obtain the space beast. "I'm not going to ask for too much. Furthermore, what I need is very simple." Wang Xian's eyes sparkled. "I need you to cooperate with me on a few things to compensate the space beast." "What?" "I didn't expect you to be a pervert. Let me tell you." Upon hearing Wang Xian's words, the veiled lady's expression changed drastically. She immediately pointed at him and scolded him in excitement. Then don't misunderstand. I'm asking you to help me attract immortal king-level desolate beasts so that I can capture them." Wang Xian's face turned black when he saw her agitated expression and said in a deep voice. The veiled lady was stunned as well. Following that, her face continued to turn black. Let her attract an undying emperor beast? Use her as bait. This. Chapter 2440. 2440 on the 2440 pretty girl bait. Wang Xian didn't pay much attention to this girl who had a treasure and could hide in the crack in the void. However, when he wanted to capture the immortal king desolate beast, he realized a problem. If he wanted to capture a sea monster of this level, he needed a bait. It was a bait that was as invincible as his previous battle techniques. Ordinary desolate beasts had very strong vigilance. Even if they encountered experts of the same level, they would not risk their lives if they did not risk their lives. This meant that if you wanted to catch a desolate beast, you had to be 3 or 4 levels stronger than it, or you had to set up a trap and surround it. And to set up an array in advance, to let a desolate beast enter, you needed a bait. This bait's strength could not be very strong. If it was strong, the desolate beasts would not dare to chase. However, there was another problem: the weaker bait would be killed by the desolate beasts. The most perfect bait was the invincible battle technique, the type that the sea monsters could not even kill. However, the invincible battle technique bait had already been eliminated. Making him attract the undying God King desolate beasts was simply sending him to his death. However, the veiled lady in front of him was different. She had a treasure that could hide within the space rift. If she hid, even an undying level 8 warrior would not be able to detect her. If she was used as bait to attack the undying Emperor Desolate Beast, the Desolate Beast would definitely teach this ant a good lesson. And she only needed to use some defensive treasures, along with the ability to escape in the space rift. It was a bait that was comparable to invincible battle techniques. As long as she was willing to be the bait, there was no need for her reward. With her as the bait, wouldn't capturing a level 1, level 2 or even higher Immortal King level Desolate Beast battle pet be more than her reward? Wang Xian thought as he narrowed his eyes and sized up the Veiled Lady. When the Veiled Lady heard Wang Xian's words, her expression changed drastically. When she saw his gaze, she was even more furious as she clenched her fists tightly. She was a Grand Dragon King. Please change your condition. We can help you raise 1 level. After that, we can give you a war pet of the same level. How about that? The woman frowned and said while clenching her teeth. 2 years. Be my bait for 2 years. Oh no, 2 years as a partner. I'll help you tame the towering serpent space beast. A matured towering snake will be invincible in the entire Imperial Star Field unless the Celestial Emperor of the Imperial Court makes a move. It is totally worth it to pay just a little. Wang Xian said directly to the woman. To help him advance 1 level and give a war pet of the same level, the reward was absolutely terrifying. However, to Wang Xian in the long run, it was totally not worth it to let the veiled woman be his bait. His words made the woman fall into deep thought. 2 years of time in exchange for a tamed space beast cub was totally worth it. Even if they could find an Immortal King level 7 or 8 beast taming grandmaster, it would still take a few years to tame this space beast. Sure. The Veiled Lady's changing expression slowly disappeared. She also knew that this matter would be more beneficial to her. 2 years, any time. When Wang Xian heard her words, a smile appeared on his face. It is only limited to assisting you in capturing the desolate beasts. The Veiled Lady stared at Wang Xian and said, Of course, since we are now in the Blackstone domain, let's get familiar with it. Wang Xian smiled and looked at the Blackstone domain in front of him. I want to capture the Immortal King Desolate Beast. You need to lure it over. With your strength, you will definitely be hit. Do you have any defensive treasures? He asked the Veiled Lady. Don't worry, even a level 5 Immortal King Desolate Beast can't hurt me. The Veiled Lady said coldly. Very good, then we will head over now. We will return in half a month. Wang Xian said immediately. Alright, I have some matters to attend to in half a month. I need a few days to settle them. Once everything is settled, there will be no more problems. The Veiled Lady nodded her head coldly. Miss. At the side, the woman said to the Veiled Lady with some heartache. You can't follow me. Once the desolate beasts sense your strength, they will escape immediately. You can follow me, but she has to rely on herself to attract the Immortal King sea monster. Wang Xian immediately said to the woman. It's all right, Anding. This treasure on me is enough to withstand the constant attacks of the Immortal King level 5 Desolate Beast. The Desolate Beasts here can't hurt me. The Veiled Woman pursed her lips and said to the woman. Sigh, all right. The woman nodded her head helplessly and looked at Wang Xian unhappily. If she didn't have a favor to ask of him, she would definitely teach this guy a good lesson. Let's go. I know a few places with level 1 Immortal King level Desolate Beasts. A few days ago, Wang Xian had searched many planets and roughly knew where there were Immortal King level Desolate Beasts. He moved and immediately flew towards a planet in front of him. The Veiled Woman was hiding in the void crack. Her speed was also a little strange. The woman was following behind Wang Xian. After entering the planet, Wang Xian immediately became alert. Be careful. This place is filled with danger. Follow me and keep moving. Wang Xian reminded the Veiled Lady and quickly flew towards a direction. Wait here. I'll clean up the surroundings. After flying for more than an hour, they arrived at the front of their destination. Wang Xian swept his gaze across the place. He wanted to set up a formation here so that other dire beasts would not disturb him. The veiled lady looked at him standing in the crack in the void without moving. The lady beside him kept frowning. Clearly, she was very displeased to have her young miss as bait. But, following that, Wang Xian began to set up array formations one after another. The 5 clones in the 5 elements millstone only had the strength of a level 1 immortal king. In other words, the array formation he set up could only resist a level 1 immortal king desolate beast. He did not have the time to master an array of a higher level. Even if it was a black hole disturbing the space, it could only trap a level 1 undying god king, and above level 1 could only interfere. However, this was enough. He still had the towering snake space beast. With the towering snake, he could also capture a level 2 undying god king desolate beast. This was a level 1 undying god king desolate beast. He did not need to set up many arrays. Miss, this god king named Dragon King isn't simple. Looking at Wang Xian who was setting up the arrays, the lady said to the veiled lady. Yes. The veiled lady nodded her head and stared at the busy figure in front of her. Powerful array attainments and terrifying beast taming abilities weren't simple even in the Emperor's star field. All right. 10 minutes later, Wang Xian set up some arrays and inspected them with a smile on his face. Pretty lady, there should be a level 1 immortal king level desolate beast in front of us. No matter what method you use, lure it over. Let's go. Wang Xian said to the veiled lady excitedly. Once he succeeded, it would be as easy as drinking water to increase his strength and the strength of the Dragon Palace in the future. Chapter 2441. 2441 2441 Beauty Bait. When the veiled lady heard Wang Xian's words, her face turned extremely gloomy. Beauty? Go to hell, this guy. She glared at Wang Xian fiercely and immediately flew forward. Wang Xian didn't care about her expression. He continued to look at her with a smile. He glanced at the lady beside him and gestured at her. Don't bully our lady. The lady looked at Wang Xian deeply and said expressionlessly. I'm not bullying her. Wang Xian said indifferently. The lady nodded her head coldly and flew towards the back. Wang Xian didn't want her to stay here for fear of being discovered by the alert immortal king desolate beast. The lady could only distance herself from this place helplessly. This damn bastard, he wants me to be the idol of the tens of billions of people in the Emperor Star region, the goddess of countless people's dreams. How dare he use me as bait? The Emperor Star lady flew straight in with a dark face and said through gritted teeth. If it wasn't for the towering snake space beast, she wouldn't have suffered such grievance. She snorted and hid within the space crack, searching for the undying god king desolate beast. Emperor Star Lady's speed within the space crack was very fast. As she passed through the crack, no living being could attack her. The ground and trees didn't affect her at all. The journey was smooth. After walking around for half an hour, she saw an undying god king desolate beast lying in front of a resplendent grass. That resplendent grass was wrapped in substantial laws, and the grass emitted a fatal attraction. And the undying god king desolate beast beside her was green in color, like a green lizard. Its body wasn't very big, only about 20 meters. It had black lumps on its body. It looked disgusting. It's this undying god king first level desolate beast. It's disgusting. Emperor Star Lady looked at the desolate beast in front of her, her face pale. After all, her strength was only at the God Lord realm. This desolate beast was much stronger than her. Although her realm was at the peak of her age, she had never participated in battles, nor had she personally hunted desolate beasts. Now that she had attracted the attacks of an undying god king desolate beast, her heart was filled with fear. If I take away the grass beside it, it should chase after me. Emperor Star Lady gathered her courage and took a deep breath, reaching out to grab the undying god king level 1 divine grass. Her body appeared and she grabbed the divine grass, grabbing it in her hands. However, as she was too weak, she couldn't pull it out. Ao ao ao. But at that moment, a muffled roar sounded. Emperor Star Lady looked up and saw a huge pair of ice-cold eyes staring at her. Ah! She exclaimed and hurriedly ran forward. So! But at the next moment, the lizard-like desolate beast's tongue reached out and swallowed it. At that moment, she was on the verge of collapse. She was actually instantly swallowed into the disgusting stomach. She resisted the feeling of vomiting as her veil became slightly illusory. She entered the space rift and easily passed through the desolate beast's body. Bait? Her face was pale as she clenched her fists. She gritted her teeth and continued to appear. Ao ao. The undying god king desolate beast that was about to lie down was stunned. Following that, it opened its largest mouth and bit at her. Wang. Her body moved and immediately flew into the space rift, flying forward. In a short second, she appeared over 100 kilometers away. Ao ao ao. The undying's king desolate beast saw that an ant dared to provoke it and roared angrily. It flew straight ahead, its terrifying claws tearing a rift in space. Di Xingnu's expression changed drastically. She hurriedly fled in the direction where Wang Xian was. However, the next second, she felt a claw landing on her body. She felt herself spinning in the sky. She had done at least dozens of somersaults. This made her extremely embarrassed. It was too shameful. Too shameful. But, seeing that she was about to crash into the tree in front of her, she hurriedly dove into the crack in the void. Crack. However, the next moment she felt the void beside her being torn apart, and her entire body flew forward again. This time, if she landed on the ground, she would definitely land face first. Emperor Star Lady was so aggrieved that she almost cried. She held back her tears and looked behind her. Bang! What greeted her was an incomparably huge tail that directly swept her out. If not for the treasures on her, she would have been killed. Ao ao ao. Behind her, the roar of the undying godly monarch desolate beast sounded. Emperor Star Lady felt the sky turn black. She once again escaped into the spatial rift. Peng! However, she was followed by another claw that slapped her out of the spatial rift. Bastard, all of you are bullying me. Tears welled up in Di Xingnu's eyes as she gritted her teeth and flew towards Wang Xian with all her might. The immortal king desolate beast was attacking continuously from the back. It could not believe that it could not even kill an ant. Oh, he's here. At this moment, Wang Xian noticed the commotion coming from the front. He squinted his eyes slightly. Bang! Next, he saw a beautiful figure flying horizontally towards him. He took a glance and locked onto the level 1 immortal king desolate beast in front of him. Well done, less than an hour. Wang Xian smiled and got ready. Buzz! When he saw the immortal king desolate beast entering the space where the formation was located, Wang Xian moved his arm. Boom boom boom. At the next moment, all the formations that were set up here were instantly activated. Buzz! At the next moment, the black hole disturbance and the 2 binding formations were instantly activated. The immortal king desolate beast that was enveloped by the formation was slightly shocked. It immediately wanted to escape. However, it was too late. Entering the area of the formation and Wang Xian using the formation to trap it were 2 different concepts. At this time, even the immortal king desolate beast did not have the time to escape. Boom boom boom. 2 binding arrays immediately wrapped around the body of the desolate beast. The immortal king desolate beast that was in the black hole was completely bound. Hiss hiss. Wang Xian waved his arm and the towering snake appeared at the side. He looked down at the immortal king desolate beast that was being wrapped up. Ao ao. The desolate beast let out 2 terrified cries and lowered its head, shivering. Not bad, well done. Wang Xian turned his head and saw Di Xingnu, who was standing at the back with a changing expression. He spoke to her. After saying that, he moved his body and immediately began to tame the level 1 immortal king desolate beast. I've succeeded, I'm going to be rich. Wang Xian was extremely excited. At the back, Imperial Star Lady was clenching her fists. Just now, when she was being chased by the immortal King Desolate Beast, it was a huge humiliation. Chapter 2442. 2442-2442 returned with a full load. Empress Star could vaguely remember that under the Desolate Beast's attack, she was flying in various poses in the sky. In this lifetime, it was the first time she felt so angry and so powerless. Looking at the fellow who was excitedly taming the Desolate Beast, her face turned black. This was only the first day. She could already imagine the torture she would have to endure for the next 2 years. All right, 10 minutes later, an ear-piercing laughter rang out. The surrounding array formation slowly disappeared. The Desolate Beast that had been chasing her was tamed. At this moment, it was lying beside that fellow. Not bad. Wang Xian kept his tamed battle pet and spoke to the Empress Star Lady again. In the next 2 years, with such a bait, Wang Xian could tame quite a number of immortal king-level Desolate Beasts. If these Desolate Beasts were to be sold, the resources obtained would be terrifying. As long as you are satisfied. Upon hearing his praise, Di Xingnu replied coldly. It's all right, but next time, before you come, inform me loudly. Also be careful. If the Desolate Beasts stop chasing after you, attack them. This Desolate Beast is a little lacking in vigilance. When I have time, I will introduce someone to you. In the past, he was my partner. He is more experienced. Let him share some of his experience with you. Wang Xian said to him. However, every word he said caused Di Xingnu's expression to change continuously. Her eyes were slowly filled with killing intent. When she came over just now, she was attacked by the Desolate Beasts. She was already in an extremely miserable state. This fellow wanted to make her even worse. Continue, let's go to another place. Wang Xian didn't care about her expression and continued to speak with a smile. Di Xingnu followed by the side with a dark expression. Miss, are you all right? Very soon, the woman flew over and asked worriedly when she saw Di Xingnu, who was in a terrible state. I'm fine, Anning. I'm fine. Di Xingnu shook her head and followed behind Wang Xian without saying a word. 2 hours later, the same trick was used again. Wang Xian set up the formation and signaled Di Xingnu to set off. This time, it took a longer time. Di Xingnu drew a beautiful arc and landed heavily at the position of Wang Xian's formation. Wang Xian glanced at her and paid no more attention to her. His gaze was fixed on the immortal King Desolate Beast in front of him. In the past, when Invincible battle technique was used as bait for him, he was in a much worse state than the Empress Star. At that time, Invincible battle technique was used as bait to attract the sea monsters. She was treated like a rubber ball. When the sea monsters clashed and attacked, she was much better now. Pa. Patting the soil that did not exist on her body, the Empress Star looked at Wang Xian, who was taming the Desolate Beast in front of her with a dark face. She felt so wrong that she wanted to cry. One day, I will make you pay tenfold for today's humiliation. The Empress thought to herself, don't bully a young lady who is poor. A lot of time passed after that. Half a month passed in the blink of an eye. Wang Xian looked at the time in his harvest. He had been in the Blackstone domain for nearly a month. It's time to go back. After I go back this time, I will make use of all my battle pets. I will be able to upgrade by 1 level. Wang Xian's eyes sparkled. In half a month's time, Wang Xian had tamed 10 Immortal King Level 1 battle pets and 1 Immortal King Level 2 battle pet. These resources were enough for him to upgrade his level. In addition, he still had a lot of resources left. The remaining resources were enough for the Dragon Palace to increase the combat strength of more than 10 Immortal King level battle pets. Alright, it's over this time. Be prepared for the next time. You can't just call me any time, but you can't waste too much time either. Wang Xian said to Di Xingnu, who was beside him. For the past half a month, This pretty lady had not paid any attention to him. Clearly, as a lady from a wealthy family, she had the intention to kill him. Wang Xian did not mind it. Wasn't he very resistant to being invincible in the beginning? I have some matters to deal with. It will take about 3 days. The Imperial Star Lady said coldly. 3 days is fine. Wang Xian nodded his head and looked at the woman who was flying over. Oh right, are you guys going back to Dongqi planet? Yes. The woman nodded her head at him. It's on the way then. Let's go together. Wang Xian smiled. The other party had an airship. How could flying on his own be more comfortable than riding on an airship? Sure. The woman nodded her head and brought the Imperial Star Lady to the airship. When they entered the airship, the old man in cloth clothes was waiting there. This time, there were fewer people. Wang Xian sat inside and sipped his tea leisurely. He was in a very good mood. In half a month's time, I've obtained 11 immortal God King war pets. How impressive! Even the Witch Beast Pavilion can't achieve such speed. Within the cabin of the ship, the woman exclaimed. This guy is indeed powerful. The towering snake space beast is like an obedient baby in his hands. He can do whatever he wants. Emperor Star Lady said sincerely. Even though he was extremely unhappy with the Dragon King, his terrifying beast-taming abilities were too heaven-defying. Another point is, according to my scanner, that Dragon King's age is only 30 years old. I don't know what's wrong. The woman shook her head and said, How is that possible? It's impossible to reach Undying Emperor level in his 30s. He must have some hidden methods. Emperor Star Lady shook her head in disbelief. However, his aura is indeed very young. This cannot be hidden no matter what. At this time, the old man in cloth said slowly. This isn't too important, miss. We'll stay here for 2 years. The other side will definitely take note. The lady frowned slightly. Just say that I'm about to break through. I'll need to train for 2 years. 2 years isn't too long. There shouldn't be any problems. Emperor Star Lady pondered and said, Aunt Ing, how are the arrangements for the concert this time? At this time she asked. The concert is arranged by one of the Undyings here. We just need to take a look and see if there are no problems. Tomorrow night, we have enough time. The lady replied. That's good. Also, Aunt Ing, do you have any movement skills? I want to learn them. Emperor Star Lady nodded, suddenly saying, Yes. The woman looked at her in a daze and nodded her head. Naturally, she knew why the Imperial Star Lady was learning movement skills. She had witnessed the tragic state of her young miss. After the conversation, the Imperial Star Lady took out her AI and looked at the information about her concert. Her mood was finally a little better. The speed of the airship was very fast. After Wang Xian arrived at planet Dongqi, he flew directly to his residence. Next, he had to prepare for the opening of the Dragon Palace's pet shop. It would be best if he could become famous in one shot. This would save him a lot of time. Boss Wang, you're finally here. What a coincidence. When Wang Xian entered the manor, the voice of Invincible battle techniques rang out. You're still here? Wang Xian looked at him in astonishment. Hee, how can I leave now? It's the concert of the Star Lady tomorrow. I'm his #1 fan. Chapter 2443. 2443 at Concert 2443. Wang Xian had left the manor for more than a month. Invincible in combat had also stayed on planet Dongqi for more than a month. This guy didn't leave for such a long time just to watch a concert. Watch a concert? You didn't go back for more than a month just to watch a concert? Wang Xian looked at him, whose face was flushed with excitement. He asked in astonishment. Boss Wang, you don't know that the Star Lady is holding a concert on the East Lake planet tomorrow. Do you know about the Star Lady? She is one of the most famous female stars in the entire Imperial star field. She is as beautiful as a fairy. Especially her singing voice. It is filled with healing and intelligence. She is simply a rare lady in the world and hard to find in the heavens. Come Come, let me show you her video. Invincible Battle Technique took out his AI excitedly and said to Wang Xian. No need, I don't have as much free time as you. Wang Xian shook his head speechlessly. I don't want either, Boss Wang. I've improved too quickly. My master asked me to stabilize myself for a period of time. Hee, I've spent a lot of effort to get a few tickets for the recent concert. Boss Wang, let's go together. As Invincible Battle Technique spoke, he showed the few tickets on his AI. He was filled with pride. There's no need for that. I need to prepare for the opening of the pet shop. Wang Xian shook his head, indicating that he was not interested. Oh right, are you familiar with this place? Get me a few service staff. I want someone at the level of the Eternal God Lord. Hee, Boss Wang. Although I've only been here for a month, it's not wrong to leave the matter to me. I'll help you settle the matter of the service staff, Boss Wang. Invincible Battle Technique patted his chest and promised. All right. Wang Xian nodded and immediately flew towards the shop. Hey, Boss Wang, I'll go with you. At this moment, Invincible Battle Technique suddenly followed by the side and shouted loudly. Didn't you want to help me look for the waiter? Also, has the girl you like, Leng Yu, gone back? Wang Xian looked at him and asked. Boss Wang, why do you need me, Invincible Battle Technique, to personally look for a waiter? I'll hand it over to some underlings. Leng Yu is not my girl. Now that my horizons have grown, I can't be too bad, let alone someone like Stargirl. Invincible Battle Technique raised his head slightly and said confidently. Little brother? Sure, did you get a little brother here? Wang Xian looked at him in astonishment. Haha, Boss Wang, it's not that I'm Invincible Battle Technique bragging. In this star field, among the younger generation of the hundreds of thousands of life planets, which one of them is my Invincible Battle Technique opponent? Invincible Battle Technique used only a month's time to make a name for myself. My brothers are spread across hundreds of thousands of planets, and I have quite a number of little brothers. Invincible Battle Technique raised his head and said proudly. In this month, Invincible Battle Technique had indeed made a name for himself. In his pocket he had many god stones from his master, and he was also a personal disciple of a fourth-rate force leader. His own strength had already reached the Eternal God Lord level 5. And he even had a level 2 Undying God King cub, and now the cub's strength was the same as his. At his age, his strength could only be compared to the disciples of the Big Sex and the Void God Kingdom who had the Emperor of God. In this star field, it was not an exaggeration to say that he was invincible among those of the same level. Coupled with his high-profile character, he had made quite a name for himself in a month. Background, strength, and money. This was the portrayal of an Invincible Battle Technique. Hee. Wang Xian looked at him and smiled. All right, Boss Wang, aren't you going to sell the Immortal God King Battle Pet? I can introduce some business to you. Many of my brothers and underlings have good backgrounds. Maybe they will really buy it. Invincible in Battle Techniques said to him. Oh, sure, then introduce some business to me. Wang Xian smiled and nodded. Perhaps Unrivaled Battle Technique could really introduce him to a lot of business, even though he didn't really need it. Boss Wang, the shop is here. Wow, this place is right next to the concert tomorrow. It would be a waste not to come tomorrow night. When Wang Xian brought Unrivaled Battle Technique to the side of the shop, he scanned the surroundings and pointed to the sky beside him as he spoke. Boss Wang, it's right there. It's already set up. This is too close. Let's go to the concert tomorrow to relax. I can guarantee that if you see Star Lady, you will definitely fall in love with her. Also, I can introduce some of my brothers and underlings to you tomorrow. Invincible Battle Technique continued with a smile. He was prepared to bring Wang Xian along. When the time came tomorrow, he would directly say that this was his boss, an Immortal King boss, and a boss with 8 or 9 Immortal King battle pets. Just imagine how cool it would be. When the time came, would those guys still be more polite and respectful to him? If there's nothing else, I can go with you. Wang Xian nodded his head. Huh, all right. Invincible Battle Technique nodded his head excitedly. After staying in the shop for a while, Invincible Battle Technique brought Wang Xian around the East Lake planet and ate some food. Apparently, Invincible Battle Technique knew a lot about Dongqi planet. He brought Wang Xian around leisurely. Since the waiters were not in place yet, Wang Xian was not in a hurry to relax. Let's go, Boss Wang. I'll introduce my brothers and underlings to you later. We'll enter the venue together later. More than 20 hours passed quickly. Invincible Battle Technique said to Wang Xian. Okay. Wang Xian nodded his head faintly and followed Invincible Combat Style towards a huge temporary square in the sky. The entire temporary square was extremely huge. There were at least tens of millions of people standing there. This time, there were a total of 20 million people who came to watch the so-called Star Lady concert. The entire temporary square was filled with people. There were young, middle-aged, and even quite a number of old people. Among them, there were many young men and women holding signs in their hands. Their faces were filled with excitement. There was a huge screen at the front. On the screen, there was a beautiful woman. It's a little familiar. Wang Xian looked at the beautiful woman. His eyes sparkled. She was indeed very beautiful. Boss, the friend I made here is here. At this moment, the voice of Invincible in Battle Techniques was heard. Wang Xian looked over and saw a young man flying over on a sword. There was a young man in full body armor. He looked extremely cool. There were also a few young men and women who were hugging beautiful ladies. They looked extremely dashing. There were more than 30 young men and women in total. Judging from the equipment on their bodies, there was not a single ordinary disciple. Invincible little brother. One by one, young men and women flew over and warmly greeted Invincible Battle Technique. Come, let me introduce my boss to you. Invincible Battle Technique waved at them and said with a smile. What? Our invincible young master and our boss? I don't believe it. A young man walked over with a smile on his face and said, Chapter 2444. 2444 at the 2444 concert. Hurry up and come over. Cut the crap and let me introduce you to my boss, the Dragon King. You can just call him the Dragon King. When Invincible saw the young man walking over, he patted him on the shoulder and looked at the rest of the crowd. The Dragon King? He looks similar to US and became the king? Invincible, is he stronger than you? A long-haired young man walked over with a smile on his face. He sized up Wang Xian from head to toe and was a little curious. They knew what kind of character Invincible Battle Technique had. This person was someone who dared to be tough with the disciples of other powerful factions. To be able to make him call him boss, he would definitely be convinced. Strong? Dragon King, that's the immortal godly king. Quick, come over and greet my boss obediently. Invincible Battle Technique said to the young man and waved his hand. He looked like he was in a hurry. Undying godly king? The group of young men who walked over were stunned. Their faces were filled with shock as they looked at Wang Xian in astonishment. Hurry up. How can I lie to you guys? The level 2 Undying Godly King war pet in my hand was given to me by Boss Wang. Soon, Boss Wang will open a war pet shop on East Lake Planet. He wants to sell a few Undying's war pets. If your sect needs them, come to my shop to buy them. Invincible Battle Technique raised his head and said to them, The real Undyings? Hello, Boss Dragon King. The young man who was patted on the shoulder by Invincible Battle Technique looked at Wang Xian in shock and immediately shouted respectfully, Greetings, Dragon King. The rest of them opened their mouths and immediately walked over to shout as well. Even though Invincible Battle Technique looked like an unrestrained character, his words were still very reliable. There's no need. If you buy a battle pet, you can go to the Dragon Palace in a few days. The highest level is Immortal King level 2. Wang Xian glanced at them and said with a smile, Immortal King Level 2 Battle Pet. Everyone looked at each other with awe in their hearts. Yes, yes, Dragon King, we will inform our family immediately when we return. The group of young men and women nodded their heads. Let's go, we can enter the concert venue now, let's go. Invincible Battle Technique raised his head slightly and smiled when he saw this scene as he said to the group. Hey, Invincible, is this Dragon King really Immortal King? He looks similar to us, how can he be Immortal King? Are you really selling an undying God Emperor battle pet? You aren't making fun of us, right? The moment they left, a few youths pulled Invincible over and asked softly. Invincible won't lie to you, you'll know in 2 days. Invincible said seriously. The crowd was somewhat convinced, nodding slightly. As soon as they entered the concert hall, Invincible took the tickets and walked straight to the front of the stage. The stage was at the front, looking extremely gorgeous. In front of the stage, there were hundreds of seats. These seats were different from ordinary seats. There should be sofas and dining tables. Invincible and the others were sitting at this seat. Hee, Boss Wong, I won this seat from an arrogant guy. This seat is only 200 meters away from the Star Lady. Invincible Battle Technique patted the seat in the front row and said proudly. You're doing well. Wang Xian smiled and sat on a seat. Move, move, move. At this moment, a voice came from the side. The young man who was patted by Invincible Battle Technique staggered and took a few steps towards them. Huh. Invincible Battle Technique sensed it and extended his arm to stabilize the young man. He looked at the dozens of young men and women who were walking over. Hee, I thought it was someone who was so arrogant. Turns out it was a defeated opponent. Invincible Battle Technique stared at the young man in front of him and said disdainfully. Invincible Battle Technique, don't be so arrogant. Do you think you are great just because you beat me once? The yellow-haired youth stared at Invincible Battle Technique angrily and growled in a low voice. If I beat you once, then we can continue to play other games. Let's see who wins and who loses. I'm just afraid you won't dare to play. Invincible Battle Technique looked at him provocatively. You. The youth's expression changed drastically as he stared at Invincible Battle Technique with killing intent. Trash. Invincible Battle Technique continued to speak with disdain. You are that new Invincible on East Lake Planet, it's best not to be arrogant. At this time, beside the yellow-haired youth, the tiger-robed youth turned and stared at Invincible and said indifferently. Then you should take care of the trash beside you. Without the ability, you still dare to cause trouble? Invincible looked at the tiger-robed youth and said coldly. Invincible, he is the son of an emperor from the Eastly Undying Dynasty. At this time, a youth beside Invincible reminded him softly. The son of an emperor, I thought he was a god. Invincible said indifferently, returning to his seat. 1. The emperor's son's expression changed. He immediately looked at his middle-aged man. The middle-aged man swept a cold glance at Invincible in battle tactics. A glint flashed across his eyes. Bang! Invincible in battle tactics sat beside Wang Xian. There was a bottle of water placed on the table in front of them. The bottle of water suddenly exploded and rushed towards Invincible in battle tactics. The sudden change of events stunned Invincible in battle tactics. He didn't expect the other party to be so arrogant as to dare to use his skills here. However, his opponent was obviously very strong. It was too late for him to dodge. The expressions of the surrounding people changed when they saw the crisp sound. They quickly looked over. Was Invincible in battle. Are you here to watch the concert or to fight? Wang Xian, who was sitting at the side, looked helpless when he saw this scene. He waved his arm and the broken water bottle recovered. Not a single drop of water was left into the water bottle. He took a look at the middle-aged man's eyes and spoke to Invincible Battle Technique. Boss, I'm really here to watch the concert. I just didn't expect this bastard to actually dare to set me up. Furthermore, he sent his subordinates to set me up. As Invincible Battle Technique spoke, he stared at the young man and greeted him directly. Huh. The young man's expression changed slightly. He ignored Invincible Battle Technique and looked at Wang Xian. That move just now was not something that could be done under normal circumstances. The surrounding people also looked at Wang Xian, who was sitting there. Their eyes were sparkling. Young Royal Highness, he is the immortal king. I'm going back. At this moment, the middle-aged guard who made a move just now suddenly covered his eyes. He whispered with an embarrassed and terrified expression. What? The young man looked over and saw blood oozing out from the place where the middle-aged man was covering. His expression changed drastically. Immortal godly king? His heart sank and he looked at Wang Xian in fear. You go back first. The young man growled in a low voice. His expression changed and he walked straight to his seat. The young men and women around him also looked at Wang Xian in shock and left in fear. Chapter 2445. 2445 Imperial Star Girl's Revenge. Boss Dragon King is really an immortal god king. This is too strong. Just now, Boss Dragon King didn't even make a move himself. With just a glance, that middle-aged man should be a God Lord level 9 powerhouse. His eyes went blind. Boss Dragon King is too cool. I want to be your little brother too. The group of youths around Invincible in Battle Technique did not dare to say anything when they saw the other party return to his seat dejectedly. They looked at Wang Xian and said excitedly. Just now, they had some doubts about whether the Dragon King was an immortal god king. Now they were completely sure. The group of youths looked at Invincible in Battle Technique with envy. He was the boss of an immortal god king. The Dragon King seemed to be a relatively young immortal godly king. With such a boss, who would he be afraid of if he went out? Immortal godly king was the realm of the patriarchs of their families and sects. However, their patriarchs couldn't hang out with them and watch the concert together, right? Wang Xian gave them a faint smile and didn't say anything. I've said that you still have some doubts. What about now? In the future, I think all of you should hang out with Invincible Battle Technique. There will be benefits for all of you. Invincible in Combat Techniques said proudly to the few young men beside him. Among this group of young men, some of them had backgrounds that were not weaker than Invincible in Combat Techniques. What benefits? The group of young men immediately asked him. Cough cough, let me tell boss. If you buy a battle pet, I will give you a 20% discount. A 20% discount for a god-level battle pet is not a small amount. Invincible Battle Technique coughed and smiled at Wang Xian. Boss Dragon King really has many immortal god-level war pets. A young man couldn't help but ask Invincible Battle Technique. Of course, why would I lie to you? You should know by tomorrow. Alright, who's how's the waiter I asked you to find? Invincible Battle Technique said with a smile. Invincible boss, I've already found him. You can call him over any time. The young man called Huzi immediately smiled and nodded his head. Wang Xian smiled from the side. Invincible Combat Technique knew these young men with deep backgrounds. It was quite beneficial. Who is that guy? However, at this moment on the left, the heir of the prince was sitting there with a gloomy face. He asked the yellow-haired young man beside him. Brother Hao, I don't know either. That arrogant fellow has an undying beside him. That warrior is also idle. He actually came here. The yellow-haired youth shook his head bitterly. Even if an undying wasn't a sect, a pillar of the god dynasty, how would he have the time to come here to watch the concert? They had unfortunately met. Damn it. Dong Li Hao roared angrily, clenching his fists. However, he was after all only a descendant of a dynasty emperor. Even if his talent wasn't bad, he wouldn't dare to provoke an undying emperor. Even the youths in the group didn't dare to give him face. Even though the other party was weaker than them, he was a core disciple of a faction. In terms of status, he wasn't weaker than them. In fact, he was even higher. The young men and women beside Dong Li Hao also had ugly expressions. They came from different factions, but they did not dare to provoke the immortal king. It's about to start, it's about to start. At this moment, a host walked over from the stage. The concert was about to begin. Invincible Battle Technique looked forward with excitement. He touched Wang Xian's arm and said excitedly. Wang Xian looked at him speechlessly and looked forward. Star Goddess, please. At the back of the stage, a group of people followed behind a young lady who was wearing a long dress and had her hair draped over her shoulders. They looked at her and said passionately, "Okay." The expression of Star Goddess seemed a little cold. She nodded her head and leaped lightly toward the stage. Then she floated away. She's simply too beautiful. Behind her, a young man said with a face full of infatuation, "She's not someone an ordinary person can covet." A middle-aged man beside him looked at his son and said softly. After saying that, he also looked at the background with a face full of infatuation. Although he was old, he was still moved. Xingnu, 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 Xingnu. When Emperor Star Lady floated onto the stage, the tens of millions of people below the stage shouted at the same time. One by one, the young men and women stood up excitedly. W, Star Lady, I love you. On the side, Invincible Battle Technique was also shouting loudly. I didn't expect that star chasing here would be so crazy. Wang Xian shook his head slightly and sized up this figure from head to toe. It's really her. She's also known as the Goddess of Stars. I heard that she has a very deep background. Wang Xian recalled some of the comments regarding the Goddess of Stars in the AI. Hello everyone. An ethereal voice came out from the mouth of the Goddess of Stars. Without a microphone, she didn't need a microphone with her strength. Oh. Invincible Battle Technique heard the voice of the Goddess of Stars and howled like a wolf again. The Emperor Star Lady, who was very close to Invincible Battle Mage, also noticed this unrestrained fan. She looked over with a smile on her face. When she saw Wang Xian sitting there, she was slightly stunned. Her expression paused for a few seconds. Her eyes were sparkling. This is the first time that Star Lady has come to this territory. Thank you for the enthusiasm of all the fans. Next, I will open with an ethereal opening. Star Lady waved her hand and suppressed her voice. The cheers around her quickly stopped. Following that, she waved her arm and a musical instrument appeared in her hand. The ethereal and beautiful singing voice quickly spread throughout the entire concert venue. This is? The singing voice can affect people's hearts. It is somewhat similar to the sound waves of Yin Xian. When Wang Xian heard the singing voice, he was astonished. This kind of sound wave could guide one's mental strength and even cause one to fall into an illusion. Her singing and music could affect the hearts of everyone. Her singing was beautiful and it made people feel comfortable. Amazing! She is indeed a popular star in the entire Imperial Star field. Wang Xian was slightly amazed. Even he felt comfortable when he heard the music. During the concert period, she sang a total of 20 to 30 songs. After each song ended, she was greeted with countless cheers. Alright, it's time for our final stage. It's also the stage of interaction. I will invite 2 fans, one male and one female. One in the front row, one in the back row, to interact with each other. At the end of the concert, Imperial Star Lady swept her gaze across the tens of millions of people in front of her and said with a smile on her face. A crafty look appeared on her face. Me. When everyone heard her words, they could not help but stretch out their hands and shout loudly. Invincible Battle Technique, who was at the front, was about to jump up. For the audience members at the back, I will randomly call out a seat number. Row 1203, number 152. What about the lucky fan at the front? Yes, it's this audience member who is sitting there without moving. It's you. I can see that you are so calm and familiar with me. Do you not like my singing? At this moment, the Empress shouted a slogan and pointed it at Wang Xian. Chapter 2446. 2446 Under the Revenge of 2446 Celestial Queen. Wow wow wow, Boss Wang, you were actually chosen by the Celestial Queen. Your luck is simply too good. When Invincible Battle Technique saw that Wang Xian was chosen by the Celestial Queen, his face was filled with envy. He shouted at Wang Xian excitedly, "I'm not interested. You can go on my behalf." Wang Xian shook his head and said to Invincible Battle Technique, "Really?" Invincible Battle Technique's eyes lit up as he said immediately, "Really?" Wang Xian nodded his head. "Star Goddess, I'll go up on his behalf. I'll go up on his behalf." Invincible Battle Technique immediately raised his hand and shouted excitedly, "What's wrong? Young Master Wang Xian, I've already recognized you. Are you feeling guilty? Aren't you coming up?" On the stage, when Di Xingnu saw that Wang Xian was not going up, she raised her eyebrows and stared at him mockingly. But at this moment, the lights on the stage landed on Wang Xian, and the image of Wang Xian appeared in front of everyone. Huh? What was this pretty girl trying to do? Wang Xian frowned slightly when he saw that Wang Xian was intentionally making him go on stage. "Pretty girl, why am I feeling guilty?" Wang Xian shrugged his shoulders and appeared beside the Empress in a flash. "Oh, I thought a scumbag like you wouldn't dare to go on stage. Chen, you abandoned your wife and child. To think that my friend likes you so much." All of a sudden, Di Xingnu spoke to Wang Xian. Her words stunned Wang Xian as he stared at her with widened eyes. "It's good that you're here today. Let my song cleanse your soul." As she spoke, she even winked at Wang Xian playfully. "Wow, FEA, there's such a thing. What's going on? The Star Lady actually said that the man is a scumbag and that the goddess wants to avenge her sister. Since the Star Lady said that the man is a scumbag, he must be a scumbag. I didn't expect that this guy is not bad looking and is actually a scumbag. Holy shit. Star Lady is such a gentle and graceful woman, but she said that guy is a scumbag. That guy must have done something that made people and gods angry." When everyone below heard Star Lady's words, they were slightly stunned, and then they shouted in agreement. "This?" When Invincible Battle Master saw this scene, his face kept changing. How did this Boss Wang become a scumbag? Also, how did Boss Wang get to know Star Lady? Damn, Invincible, the Dragon King knows Star Lady? And he was called a scumbag by Star Lady? Wow, to be called a scumbag by Star Lady, the Dragon King is also very powerful. Did he really do something that made people and gods angry? The brothers beside Invincible Battle Technique were shocked and gossiped as they asked him. "I don't know. Boss Wang probably doesn't know Celestial Maiden. This is too fucking awesome." Invincible Battle Technique didn't know how to explain it either. Should he believe in Boss Wang or Celestial Maiden? Of course, he should believe in Celestial Maiden. Boss Wang was a scumbag. I didn't expect Boss Wang to be such a person. Invincible Battle Technique muttered. At this moment, on the stage, Wang Xian looked at Celestial Maiden in front of him with a dark expression. When the Star Lady heard the words of her fans, she smiled smugly. "How dare you use me as bait? After today, you will be completely famous. Everyone in the entire Imperial Star region will know that you are a scumbag. Wherever you go, you will be labeled as a scumbag. In the future, even women will not get close to you." When she thought of this, her mood became much better. The corner of her mouth curled up slightly. "You have a friend series? Why didn't you say that the friend is you? I saw you dancing so beautifully on the stage, but why are you so ugly in private? You're so messy." "I didn't do anything to you." Wang Xian looked at Imperial Star Lady with a dark expression and said directly. Everyone could hear his voice clearly as well. "I have a series of friends. They are all messed up in private. What the hell, what does this mean?" You. When Di Xingnu heard Wang Xian's ambiguous words, her expression changed. However, she quickly restrained her emotions. Let's not talk about anything else. Next, let's begin our interaction with this friend. Next, Di Xing'er began to interact with a female fan. She ignored Wang Xian throughout the entire process. Wang Xian did not continue to stand there and walked towards his seat. Who is he? How do you know the Empress Star? Behind the stage, the people from the Dongli dynasty saw this scene. Their expressions changed slightly as they frowned and asked, "Go and check the identity of that young man." A young man hesitated for a moment before speaking. He's the son of deity. A middle-aged man beside him nodded. He actually knows Star Lady? Is she from a powerful faction, or? The youth muttered. They didn't know much about Star Lady's background, but just the guards by her side weren't existences they could contend against. Knowing Star Lady, was she also from a powerful faction? Interesting. Little sister went to that remote place to hold a concert, but she actually knows a man. Is she going there specifically for this youth? At this moment, on a faraway planet, a few young men and women were sitting in a room at the side. As they watched the scene of the concert, the corners of their mouths curled up slightly. Little sister doesn't have any friends in private. This man might really have nothing to do with little sister. She wants that position. It's not rational for her to fall in love at this time. She still wants to compete with us. She's just an actress. An actress is still an actress after all. The other young men and women said coldly, "Send someone to check out the background of that young man. We can't let our guard down at this crucial moment." One of the young men said. The rest of the people nodded their heads. Wang Xian didn't know that he had fallen into a trap because of Di Xingnu's actions tonight. Now, he knew that he had been scammed. "Boss Wang, I didn't expect you to be such a person. However, how do you know Xingnu? Can you call her over so that I can get to know her?" As soon as Wang Xian returned to his seat, Invincible in combat stared at him and said passionately, "Get lost. I see that you are asking for a beating. This guy is deliberately trying to trick me." Wang Xian placed a slap on his shoulder and looked at Di Xingnu on the stage. Yes, it was Celestial Maiden who set you up. However, I believe in you, Boss Wang. No one else will believe it. Boss Wang, you are really famous today. You should wear a mask when you go out in the future. The corner of Invincible Battle Technique's mouth twitched in pain as he squeezed out a smile. Wang Xian's face turned black as he ignored him. Based on her fame and attention, he was indeed popular this time. Furthermore, he was unable to defend himself. The opening ceremony will be held in 3 days. Let her be my etiquette lady. Now that she has something to ask of me, how dare she set me up? Wang Xian looked at Di Xingnu on the stage and said in his heart, "Let her know that if she had a favor to ask of someone, she had to be obedient. Otherwise, she wouldn't know who was the boss." Chapter 2447. 2447 2447 Dragon Palace's pet shop was about to open for business. The concert ended very quickly. Wang Xian teleported away instantly. "Invincible, I'm afraid the Dragon King is going to be famous." Seeing Wang Xian leaving instantly, the group of young men beside him looked at each other in dismay. One of them said with a twinkle in his eyes, "He's not just famous. I took a look at the AI just now. It's insane. Boss Wang is directly ranked first on the scumbag men's roll. How pitiful." Invincible Battle Method curled his lips and said directly, "Your boss has become famous in one shot. In the future, I won't even dare to get close to you. People will say that those who get close to you will be slandered." A young man teased, "FUCK, I admire Boss Wang now. He even knows Star Lady. I wonder if he has the chance to have a meal with her." Invincible Battle Technique glared at them and said, "That's true. It's also an honor to be called a scumbag by Star Lady." The young men beside him echoed, "Let's go and have a drink together. Invincible, ask Boss Dragon King if he's coming. We'll just book the place and it'll be fine." A young man said with a smile as the crowd walked out. Miss, isn't it a little bad to offend that Dragon King like this? In the backstage area, the woman saw Emperor Star Lady walk out and said softly with a slight frown. It's fine. In any case, we are helping him capture desolate beasts. What else can he do? Emperor Star Lady shook her head and snorted coldly. The woman shook her head with a smile. Her miss was starting to throw a tantrum. However, when she thought of her miss's revenge, a smile appeared on her face. After today, most of the Imperial Star region would probably know that there was a scumbag in this remote place. It's that guy's bad luck. Who asked him to make young Miss look so miserable? The woman muttered softly. Huh. At this moment, the Star Lady beside him took out her communications stone plate with a frown. When she saw Wang Xian's message, she suddenly had a bad premonition. 2 days later, go and capture the Black Dock Beast. Get ready, pretty lady. It was a very simple message, but when she saw the Black Dock Beast, her expression began to change. What is it, miss? The woman noticed the Emperor Star Lady's expression and immediately asked. That fellow actually said to capture the Black Dock Beast 2 days later. The Emperor Star Lady said through gritted teeth. The woman was stunned when she heard her words, but soon after, her expression began to change. The Black Dock Beast was a desolate beast that lived in a swamp. This was not important. What was important was that the Black Dock Beast had black mucus all over its body. It was black and ugly. Its tentacles looked extremely disgusting. Most importantly, it could spit out saliva that was extremely poisonous and disgusting. This desolate beast was not weak, but no one was willing to treat it as a battle pet. If the Imperial Star Lady was used as bait to attract the Black Dock Beast, the scene would be unimaginable. This fellow did it on purpose. Following that, the Imperial Star Lady clenched her fists and growled. This? The woman did not know what to say and sighed helplessly. Miss, ask her if she can change to another. She hesitated for a moment and said to the Imperial Star Lady. If Celestial Lady was the bait for the Black Dock Beast, she might as well kill her. Okay. Celestial Lady gritted her teeth and nodded her head heavily. Her palm was trembling as she sent a message. This guy asked me to attend the opening of his pet shop. Soon, Celestial Lady received this message, and she was slightly relieved. It was better to attend the opening than to be the bait for the Black Dock Beast. This bastard is doing it on purpose. Following that, she said angrily. That Dragon King was taking revenge on her. The woman beside her shook her head bitterly and didn't say a word. Hee, I agree. That's a good girl. With a big celebrity helping to promote her, coupled with the 20 immortal godly monarch battle pets in her hands, it will definitely shake the entire starry sky. Wang Xian looked at the message sent by Celestial Lady D and the corner of his mouth curled up slightly. When the time comes, Celestial Lady D would be the etiquette lady in his shop. Naturally, some rumors would be destroyed. How dare you take revenge on me? Wang Xian said indifferently. Time passed very quickly. Even if the concert of Celestial Lady D was held in a remote place, it still caused a huge sensation. Especially the incident with the scumbag, Wang Xian's popularity spread throughout the entire Imperial Star field. The entire AI was filled with pictures of Wang Xian, and they were even made into motion pictures. When Wang Xian looked at the AI for the past 2 days, he nearly vomited blood. He was thinking about how he could make the Star Lady pay the price in the future. Boss Wang, the waiters have been found. I have also told my brothers that there will be a large number of Immortal God King battle pets being sold this time. The opening tomorrow will definitely be extremely popular. At this moment, Invincible Battle Technique walked over and said with a smile on his face. All right. Wang Xian nodded. I'll have to trouble you for the next 2 days. Tell your brothers that they want to buy God-level battle pets. You can give them a 30% discount. Hee, all right. Invincible Battle Technique immediately nodded his head excitedly when he heard his words. Wang Xian giving them a 30% discount was all out of respect for himself. Wouldn't that bunch of guys be thanking Invincible boss every single time? Early the next morning, Wang Xian rushed straight into the shop. Looking at the completed signboard and the fresh flowers arranged around it, Wang Xian nodded his head in satisfaction. Boss. A few waiters had already arrived at the shop. When they saw him entering, they immediately greeted him respectfully. Wang Xian nodded his head. Everything had been prepared. Next, as long as he placed his war pet in the shop, he could start his business directly. Brother Hao, this is the place. According to the information we received, the godly king opened a war pet shop here. At this moment, a group of young men stood not far away from the shop and spoke to the young man in the distance. Zay, you and your Heaven Beast Corporation are traveling together. Later on, remind some people not to let them enter this shop to buy war pets. Tell them what I said. Dong Li Hao looked at a young man and said indifferently, Yes, Brother Hao. I'll inform you about this. Du Ziyu immediately nodded. Oh, Brother Hao, look over there. Look, it's the star goddess. It's the star goddess. At this moment, a young man suddenly pointed to a spot in front of him and shouted excitedly. What? The group of young men immediately looked over, their eyes shining brightly. It's true. The star goddess hasn't left yet? Everyone looked over in astonishment. Where is she going? At this moment, Dong Li Hao and the others saw the star goddess walking straight into the shop that had not opened for business. All of them widened their eyes. Didn't the star goddess say that the godly king was a scumbag? Why is she going to his shop now? To cause trouble? A young man widened his eyes slightly and said with a face full of shock. Cause trouble? Is that possible? The other young men were slightly dazed. The possibility of this was very small. Chapter 2448. 2448 Dragon Palace's War Pet Shop was about to open for business. Dragon King, I'm here. In the Dragon Palace's War Pet Shop, Celestial Emperor Lady walked into the shop under the stunned gaze of the service staff. She spoke directly to Wang Xian, who was inside. She wasn't wearing a veil today. Whether she was wearing a veil or not, she couldn't hide it from the people who were paying attention to her. Oh, I didn't expect the pretty lady to be a big celebrity. I really didn't expect that. Wang Xian watched as Di Xingnu walked in. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly as he said indifferently, Di Xingnu snorted softly when she saw his appearance. My shop is about to open in a while. You can host the opening ceremony and help to promote the Dragon Palace's War Pet Brain Shop. You can just stay by my side for the rest of the time. Wang Xian smiled at her and looked at the woman beside him. The woman looked completely different from the last time he met her. However, he could vaguely sense that this was the woman from the last time. Apparently, she had changed her appearance the last time. All right. Di Xingnu's expression kept changing when she heard his words. He wanted her to host the opening ceremony. He wanted her to follow him for the rest of the time. To treat him as a servant. However, it seemed that a servant was better than bait. At the thought of this, her face turned black as she stared at Wang Xian. There's no need to look at me like that. Your little face is slightly red and you look like you are gritting your teeth. Others will think that I'm a scumbag who abandoned you. Wang Xian smiled faintly. With a wave of his arm, he immediately released the Immortal King-level battle pets one by one. Howl, howl, howl. In an instant, the entire store was filled with 15 undyings. The staff were shocked as they looked at the undyings. 15, they were all undyings. Every one of them was a battle pet that could only be seen at the auction. An undying's war pet was an extremely valuable existence in the entire Emperor Star field, and now there were a total of 15 of them. This is the price. All the customers who came in, tell them to settle it on the spot. Also, tell the customers that there are 5 Immortal King level 1 battle pets in the shop that cannot be placed. Wang Xian waved his arm and gave each of the waiters a price list. It's the boss. Each of the waiters nodded their heads respectfully. Their hearts were filled with shock. What kind of background did the boss have to be able to call the star goddess over? To be able to take out 20 undyings at once. Invincible boss, I've brought my brothers over. At this time, Invincible's voice could be heard from outside, followed by over 10 silhouettes walking in. Damn. The moment Invincible entered, he felt a stifling pressure. He scanned his surroundings, and when he saw the undying war pets, his eyes widened. My God, Boss Wang, these are all undying war pets? Didn't you only have 8? Why are there so many now? Invincible roared in shock. As for the youths beside him, they were all stunned. Invincible battle technique had already learned that the Dragon King had 8 Immortal King level battle pets for sale. Back then, they were extremely shocked. But now, there were a total of 15 of them. And the one in the middle seemed to be a level 2 Immortal King level battle pet. This was insane. In the past few decades and hundreds of years, there might not be anyone selling Immortal King level battle pets. Now, there were more than a dozen of them. I tamed a little more recently. Wang Xian said indifferently. It's about time. Let's have a simple opening ceremony. Let's go. Wang Xian looked at the time and gestured to Di Xingnu, who was beside him. Umph. She snorted in dissatisfaction and walked out. This is... At this moment, everyone noticed Di Xingnu, who was beside Wang Xian. She opened her mouth slightly. Star Goddess. Gulp. The group of young men and women gulped. They looked at Di Xingnu and then at Wang Xian. Go outside. Wang Xian looked at the group of stunned young men and waved at them. He brought Di Xingnu to the entrance and waved his arm to create a simple stage. Be more professional. Wang Xian gestured to Di Xingnu and reminded her. You don't have to say it. Di Xingnu said to him coldly and walked to the stage in front of him. Hello, everyone. I am Xingnu. An ethereal voice rang out, causing the passers-by to pause for a moment. Damn, Xingnu, it's him in person. Wow, Xingnu actually appeared here. Quick, who did I see? Am I blind? The passers-by in the surroundings looked in their direction in shock. Immediately after, they swarmed over. When Di Xingnu saw this scene, she smiled faintly and glanced at Wang Xian as though she was showing off. The Star Goddess. These 3 words indeed possessed a powerful magical power. Because of her magical songs and music, she had countless fans. Many elderly people liked her songs very much. Her appearance immediately caused countless people to rush towards her. In less than 3 minutes, nearly 10,000 people had gathered in front of her. There were also many people who were asking questions and were flying towards her. Some staff members of the shopping mall had already rushed over and were ready to maintain order. Boss Wang, tell me, what is the relationship between the Star Goddess and you? Could it be that the friend she mentioned yesterday was herself? She has your child? At the front of the stage, Invincible battle technique hugged Wang Xian's arm tightly as he shouted excitedly. Get lost. Wang Xian kicked him away. I am invited to host the opening of the Dragon Palace Battle Pet Shop today. I welcome everyone to support me in the future. The Dragon Palace Battle Pet Shop has just opened. The price would definitely be the most affordable battle pet shop in the Emperor Star Field. Currently, there are 20 Immortal King level Desolate Beasts in the shop. One of them is at level 2 Immortal King level, and there are also a large number of Eternal God level battle pets. We'll sell the Undying Emperor Desolate Beasts for now. Everyone can enter the shop to take a look. 3 days before the opening, only Pinnacle God Lords have the right to enter. Emperor Star Lady looked at the surrounding customers and said. When everyone heard her words, they shifted their attention from her face to the War Pets shop. It wasn't that they wanted to shift their attention, but the news that Emperor Star Lady had said was too unbelievable. 20 Immortal God King battle pets, how is this possible? At the back, an elder couldn't help but growl in a low voice. But at this moment, Wang Xian waved his arm and the entire battle pets in the shop were displayed above the shop. One immortal god king battle pet after another was clearly displayed. Grandpa, don't you believe my words? Then, please take a look for yourself. Emperor Star Lady smiled and pointed at the scene behind her. How is this possible? More than a dozen immortal god king war pets, this. Hidden amongst the crowd, Dong Li Hao and the others, Du Zheyu roared in disbelief. His ancestor was the chairman of the Heaven Beast Corporation. Their Heaven Beast Corporation was one of the top existences in terms of war pets in this region. However, since the establishment of the Heavenly Beast Corporation, they had not sold more than a dozen immortal god king war pets. Chapter 2449 2449 Dragon Palace War Pet Shop opened. A war pet shop with 20 undyings, is this crazy? Right now it seems like the Shaman Beast Pavilion only has 1 undyings, there seems to be some problems that haven't been sold yet. These are undyings, how many undyings do we have here? All the warpet shops in our region, even the warpet groups added together can't compare to this Dragon Palace warpet. It's not just comparable, it's not even worthy of carrying shoes. Everyone looked at the situation within the warpet, their eyes wide open. In this region, the third-rate forces were the pinnacle, however the third-rate forces only had 20 to 30 undying emperors. The strongest East Border God dynasty only had 30 undyings. Just like that, the East Border God dynasty controlled dozens of life planets. They were invincible. However, this shop sold 20 undyings. If one didn't see it with their own eyes, no one would believe it. An undying's war pet, to a relatively weaker force, it was a life-saving straw. Some planets had always been under the threat of desolate beasts. If there was an undying God Emperor war pet, it could definitely make many planets facing the threat resist the crisis and resolve it. 20 undying God Emperor war pets. How strong is the background of this Dragon Palace war pet shop? Dong Li Hao's expression was dark as he growled. A few days ago at the concert, his attack had caused his subordinate's eyes to be heavily injured. He had always held a grudge. As one of the top powers in this region, he wasn't too afraid of a God Emperor. However today, seeing his battle pet shop with 20 undying God Emperor level battle pets, it was simply terrifying. Other than that, he could even invite Star Lady to host. His background definitely wasn't that simple. There really is an undying God Emperor battle pet, everyone make way. Right at this time, a shocked voice came from behind, dozens of middle-aged men walked over. Their auras shook slightly, everyone in front made way. It's the warrior from the vast sect, there's an undying warrior. That's the 9th peak undying. Are they here to buy a pet? Everyone looked over and were shocked. Congratulations on the opening of the Dragon King Dragon Palace's War Pet Shop. They were the forces behind Invincible in battle techniques. They rushed over after hearing the words of the disciples of their sects and families. When they saw this scene, they were extremely shocked. The few immortal godly monarchs who were in the lead cupped their hands politely and waved at their subordinates behind them. All the middle-aged men immediately took out their opening gifts. Welcome, everyone. If you wish to purchase a war pet, please come in. Wang Xian saw some factions coming over and invited them with a smile on his face. Sure. The Immortal Kings were also very polite. A faction that could purchase 20 Immortal Kings war pets was absolutely terrifying. Wang Xian led the group into the shop. Di Xingnu took a look and did not continue to stand on the stage. She followed them into the shop. Inform the lords of the Celestial Empire immediately and tell them what happened here. There are many factions on the AI that are looking for the Immortal God King war pet. They will definitely rush over once they know about it. The Dragon Palace War Pet Shop is going to be popular. Everyone was discussing in shock when they saw everyone entering the shop and Celestial Queen leaving. However, very quickly, the information about the Dragon Palace Pet Shop spread madly through the AI. An undying God Emperor pet was definitely a rare and precious treasure, Many powers were willing to spend some resources to buy a pet. This was much easier than nurturing an undying god emperor. The Dragon Palace pet shop swept through the surrounding 100,000 human planets at a terrifying speed. All those who had received the news and were interested immediately rushed to the East Lake planet. Damn it, we have to tell the Elder Ancestor and the others immediately. At the entrance of the Heavenly Beast Corporation, Du Ziyu roared and immediately sent the news to the Heavenly Beast Corporation. Peers were enemies. The rise of the Dragon Palace's battle pet shop was a fatal blow to the other battle pet shops. Everyone has received the situation of the Dragon Palace pet shop, right? An hour later, the chairman of the Heavenly Beast Corporation was sitting in the mechanical beast on the Heavenly Beast planet with a gloomy face. More than 10 people were sitting around him. This time, all the undying godly monarch warriors of the Heavenly Beast Corporation had arrived. The situation of the Dragon Palace pet shop was even more serious than the last time. 20 undying emperor war pets. An elder sighed slowly, his face filled with envy and helplessness. If they can take out 20 undying emperor war pets to sell, then their force's undying emperor level combat strength definitely won't be lower than 40, or even more. Sky Beast Corporation's Bei Zong roared with a dark expression. His battle pet, the Sky Valley King Beast, had died at the hands of the Dragon Palace. Now that he saw how powerful the enemy was, his heart was filled with anger and unwillingness. Most importantly, we have a grudge against the Dragon Palace. An elder's face was filled with helplessness. Who would have thought that the person they had offended was so powerful? They are selling undying God King battle pets. It doesn't have much of an impact on our market right now. Maybe the situation isn't as bad as we thought. The only female God King said. Oh. Just as he said that, the chairman of the Heaven Beast Corporation who was sitting at the front suddenly stood up after receiving a message. Damn it, the price of the Dragon Palace's battle pet shop is out. Immortal God King level 1 battle pets have 50 pills of the same level or desolate beast corpses of the same value. The other God Lord level battle pets will also be sold at this standard. Damn that fellow, his price is actually so low. His expression changed as he roared. What? Everyone's expression changed when they heard the chairman's words. This price is 10 to 20% lower than the current market price. Most importantly, his undying Emperor Warpit's price is actually so low, 20% lower than the recent auction price. An old man beside him stood up with his eyes wide open. Has the Dragon Palace Warpet shop gone mad, or is it stupid? Doesn't it earn money? Below 10 to 20% of the market price, this was a benefit to the buyers, but to their peers, it was a huge blow. They could have sold it at a high price, yet they sold it at this price. Was this a deliberate attempt to suppress them? Was it to completely monopolize the market? The moment the Dragon Palace pet was sold at such a price, the other pet shops could only lower their prices. Most importantly, the Dragon Palace Battle Pet Shop was powerful. They could get 20 Undying God King Battle Pets. God Lord level battle pets would be much easier. This was pushing them to their deaths. Chapter 2450. 2450. The Invincible 2450 had been captured. Even if they sell it at a lower price than us and disrupt the market, what can we do? In the headquarters of the Heavenly Beast Group, an old man said bitterly. They had a grudge with the Dragon Palace Pet Shop, but the other party's strength was not something they could contend with. Even if they were suppressed by the Dragon Palace Pet Shop in terms of business, they couldn't do anything about it. Now that the Dragon Palace's pet shop is selling it at such a low price, it won't disturb us anymore. The entire market will be disrupted. If we're not satisfied, will the other great Master Beast Tamers be satisfied? Humph, if he sells it at such a low price, he's going against all the great Master Beast Tamers. Just because our family can't deal with them doesn't mean that he can deal with all the great Master Beast Tamers. Director Bay swept his gaze around and suddenly said in a low voice with a gloomy face. The rest of the people were slightly stunned and revealed a thoughtful expression. Director Bay, go and contact all the great beast tamers in our area. Invite all the great beast tamers who are selling their battle pets. The chairman of the Heavenly Beast Corporation raised his head to look at the old man and ordered him. Good. Although there are few master beast tamers, there are more than a dozen of them in the whole area. Besides, there are two forces that can compete with the Heavenly Beast Corporation. I don't believe that they can compete with all of us. President Bay immediately stood up and said with a cold face. That's right. The Dragon Palace's war pets are not only offending our interests, but also the interests of all master beast tamers. If we can work together, even the East Border dynasty will have to be wary. An elder slapped the table and stood up to shout. The premise is that they agree. Let's contact them first. The Heaven Beast Corporation's chairman's eyes flickered as he said. Everyone nodded and left immediately. The appearance of the Dragon Palace's 20 Undying God King war pets shocked everyone. However, when the Dragon Palace's price was announced, everyone's faces revealed shock. As a war pet with a high price but no market, the Undying war pets, everyone thought that the Dragon Palace war pets would be sold at a high price. Or the higher price would be auctioned off. However, what everyone didn't expect was that the price was completely the same. Whoever bought it first would get it. This price was even 20% lower than the last auction. That was a full 20%. 20% was a huge fortune for an item of this level. Soon, the Dragon Palace War Pet announced that the price of the Eternal God Lord War Pet was 10% lower than the other War Pet shops. When everyone got the price, countless people were stunned. No one expected the price to be so low. This caused many people to cheer and get excited. The value of the war pets had always been very high. Even if it was 10% cheaper, it was still a lot of god stones. This made many people rush towards East Pool Planet, flying towards the Dragon Palace's war pet shop. Unfortunately, the first 3 days were only selling Undying God King war pets. Only peak god lords and above had the right to enter the shop. In an instant, the popularity of the Dragon Palace's war pets completely suppressed the Emperor Star Lady's popularity. TSK, even if we didn't invite the superstar today, the Dragon Palace's war pet would still be exceptionally popular. Wang Xian stood in the shop and looked at the experts who came in one after another. When he saw their shocked expressions, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly as he said indifferently, "Umph." At the side, the Empress Star glanced at him when she heard his words and snorted coldly. Why didn't he call me over? Of course, she would not say it out loud. She had already seen how narrow-minded this fellow was. Boss, it's on fire. The Dragon Palace battle pets are simply too popular in the AI. Invincible battle technique ran over and said to him excitedly. Wang Xian smiled and nodded his head. Next, he only needed to help them tame their battle pets. As long as he sold the Immortal King level 2 battle pets, his strength would be able to increase by another level. Time slowly passed, more and more warriors came from all over the planet to the Dragon Palace war pets. In the 10th hour, the level 2 Undying war pets were immediately bought by an Undying level 3 warrior from the Eastly dynasty. In the 18th hour, all the Undying war pets were sold out. When the Dragon Palace war pets announced that all the Undying war pets were sold out, everyone was excited. It was too terrifying. Following which, the Dragon Palace announced that they had sold over 500 Eternal God level war pets. They also announced that within 2 months at most, the Dragon Palace would release the second batch of Undyings and sell the second batch of God Lord level war pets. When this news was announced, it caused another huge commotion. Does this Dragon Palace have so many Undyings? Crazy, this is simply crazy. Undyings that might not appear once every few decades to 100 years, now they are being sold in bulk. Such a suitable price, it's much lower than the other shops. Haha, I need to save up to buy a mount from the Dragon Palace. Let the other shops go to hell. Amidst the shock, everyone's faces were filled with excitement. It was a good thing for their customers that the price was low. When the Dragon Palace's pet shop was being sold at a low price, people scoffed at the other pet shops. Now, even a fool knew that they had to buy a pet shop from the Dragon Palace's pet shop. As for the other pet shops, let them die. Boss Wang, this is bad. More than 20 hours later, Invincible Battle Technique suddenly ran in and shouted at Wang Xian, who was helping his customers tame their pets. What's the matter? Wang Xian looked at him and asked with a frown. Just now, an immortal king from the Heaven Beast Corporation came over and asked me to give you an invitation card. He said that you should go to the Dong Chi Hotel tonight. Invincible Battle Technique walked over and gave Wang Xian an ordinary invitation card. Heaven Beast Corporation? Wang Xian raised his eyebrows and opened the invitation card to take a look. Then, he waved his arm and caused it to disappear. Ignore it, he said faintly. Boss Wang, it's a group selling more pets. I feel that they have come with ill intentions. Invincible Battle Technique whispered to Wang Xian. It's alright. It's just a small Heaven Beast group. Ignore it. Wang Xian didn't take it to heart. With the current strength of the Dragon Palace, they weren't afraid of the Heaven Beast group at all. When the Dragon Palace became stronger, Wang Xian was prepared to take action and destroy them. He had yet to take revenge for what had happened back then. That's true. Boss Wang is invincible in the universe. It's just a small Heaven Beast corporation. Invincible in Combat chuckled and did not take it to heart. They are not here yet. In the evening, in a private room on the top floor of the East Pool Hotel, more than 10 people were sitting there. Everyone looked at the time, their expressions extremely dark. An undying emperor had personally sent out an invitation, yet the other party hadn't come. Chapter 2451. 2451 Invincible 2451 had been captured. They don't put us in their eyes at all. On the top floor of the East Lake Hotel, the chairman of the Heavenly Beast Corporation looked at everyone with a gloomy face and said coldly, "They don't put the Heavenly Beast Corporation in their eyes, right? The Dragon Palace's battle pets have a grudge against the Heavenly Beast Corporation." An old man said to him indifferently, "The invitation clearly states everyone's strength and names. It's true that he didn't give our Heavenly Beast Corporation face, but he didn't give you any face either. Why don't you all go and invite him?" The chairman of the Heavenly Beast Corporation looked at the elder and said, "Alright, now is not the time for us to fight. I'm sure everyone is very clear about the blow the Dragon Palace Battle Pet Shop has dealt to us. Now, we want to call him over to talk, but the other party ignored us. What should we do next?" An elder waved his hand and reminded them. "What should we do? If they don't give us face, we have to give them face. With so many of us, even if the Dragon Palace has another 20 undying God King pets, we can still destroy them." The chairman of the Heaven Beast Corporation said with a face full of killing intent. The dozen people in the room represented the dozen or so factions in the region that were selling their pets. It was no exaggeration to say that if all of them joined forces, they could gather 50 to 60 undying godly monarchs. There were also 3 to 4 level 3 undying godly monarchs. The Heaven Beast Corporation had great confidence in destroying the Dragon Palace's war pets. The Dragon Palace's war pets aren't weak. It's obviously impossible to make a move without even discussing it. The old man who had waved his hand earlier glanced indifferently at the chairman of the Heaven Beast Corporation. "Now that the other party doesn't want to talk to us, should we go over and beg him?" The chairman of the Heaven Beast group said somewhat angrily, "Since he doesn't want to give us face, we don't have to give him face anymore. However, it's impossible to directly make a move. It depends on the Dragon King's attitude. Since he doesn't want to come, then we'll let him come obediently." An old man knocked on the table. "Senior Fong is right. If we can avoid falling out, let's not. It's not good for us either. We can teach them a lesson first and let them come to talk to us first." A middle-aged man nodded with a smile. Other than the Heaven Beast group, the other war pet groups and forces would not become enemies with the Dragon Palace's war pets unless they were forced to a certain realm. They could get 20 immortal God King war pets, and there might even be another 10 or 20 war pets. Once the battle started, there might be immortal god kings dying. This was something they did not wish to see. I've investigated the Dragon Palace's war pets and the Dragon King. He has a subordinate called Invincible in battle. Let's capture him and have the Dragon King come over for a chat. What do you think? An old man pondered for a moment and said, "Sure, send some people from each force." The rest of the people nodded in agreement. All the forces sent people to prevent any accidents from happening. Interesting. The Heavenly Beast Group and the other war pet shops are going to join hands to deal with the Dragon Palace's war pet. A few hours later, a group of young people gathered in an entertainment venue. The east fence in the middle of the hall glanced at the young people around it indifferently and said with a smile, "It's the Dragon Palace's pet that doesn't follow the rules. It can't blame anyone else." Du Zuan said indifferently, "Yeah, brother Hao, don't you want to see the owner of the Dragon Palace's pet suffer?" The young people next to him said to Dong Lihao with a smile, "Humph, I've been displeased with that invincible battle technique for a long time." Dong Lihao's face darkened when he saw the other young people's mockery. "Make your move as soon as possible in the next 2 days. When the time comes, Dong Lihao, remind the people from the scouting system not to come and capture us." A young man said with a smile, "Don't worry. With all of you allied together, even if we, the immortal king, know about it, we will at most give you a reminder." Dong Lihao nodded his head coldly. Time passed slowly. The Dragon Palace battle pets continued to be popular for 3 days. In just 3 days, all the battle pets were sold out. Wang Xian also used these 3 days to help a group of powerhouses tame the immortal king war pets as well as the ordinary war pets. It might take some time for the immortal king war pets to be tamed, but the taming of the ordinary war pets would be fast. Therefore, he managed to tame all the war pets in 3 days. Phew, it's finally done. Next, I have to increase my strength. In addition, after my strength has increased, I will continue to hunt desolate beasts. Next time, it would be best if I can capture a level 3 immortal king desolate beast. This way, my strength can be improved again. The corner of Wang Xian's mouth curled up slightly. He looked at the resources in his interspatial ring. These resources could increase his strength by 1 level. It could increase the combat strength of more than 20 immortal king level experts in the Dragon Palace. Let me increase my strength first. Wang Xian waved his arm and sat cross-legged in the empty shop. He put the pills into his mouth one by one. Boom, boom, boom. When the pills turned into dragon energy one by one, half an hour later, the divine dragon was circling around Wang Xian. Ding! Congratulations to host for increasing your level. You have reached level 7 of the Eternal Lord. Name, Wang Xian. Race, Yin-Yang 5 Elements Divine Dragon, Mandragon Unity. Level 7 of the Eternal Lord, the 6th form of the Divine Dragon Transformation. Origin, 24/344/100,000. Ability, rules the Water Tribe below its level. Devours creatures to extract origin. Control of the 5 elements. Cultivation method, Dragon Transformation. Ability, Soul Absorbing, Spirit Attaching, Yin-Yang 5 Elements Dragon Eyes. Aspect, 5 Elements Grinding, Dragon Kingdom in the palm, Dragon Head under the heavens, Dragon Body of 10,000 miles, Yin-Yang Poles, Yin-Yang 5 Elements Arms Bowl, Dragon Tail Swing. Law, Metal, Wood, Water, Fire, Earth, Light and Darkness, Level 7. Kingdom of God, Dragon Palace. Dragon Palace Possession, Level 7. Member of Dragon Palace, 177,693. Roar, roar, roar. A dragon's roar came from his bones. Wang Xian, who was sitting cross-legged, was like a human-shaped divine dragon. If he didn't have any scruples, he would definitely transform into the body of a divine dragon and roam the 9 heavens. Immortal King Level 3 Combat Strength. Looking at his attributes, Wang Xian clenched his fists and the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. Perhaps it wouldn't be long before he dared to show himself as a divine dragon and wasn't afraid of others coveting his divine dragon inheritance. Continue to strive and become stronger. Wang Xian's eyes were sparkling. Sorry, Dragon King, sorry to disturb you. At this moment, a voice suddenly sounded at the entrance. Oh! Wang Xian raised his eyebrows and looked outside. Bang! I'm sorry for inviting the Dragon King out of courtesy last time. The middle-aged man at the door smiled. He waved his arm and threw an item on the ground. The corner of his mouth curled up slightly as he turned around and prepared to leave. Huh! Wang Xian was slightly stunned. When he saw the item that was thrown on the ground in front of him, his expression changed. Bang! The next moment, Wang Xian's pupils contracted slightly. The middle-aged man who was about to leave was directly grabbed by Wang Xian's side. The door was instantly closed. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.